Papalegba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out, Papalegba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out, Papalegba, Yeshua, Ilegua, come out. 'Cause this is our land. Yes, we was here first. They came here on a boat. They'll leave here in a hearse. They'll leave here through the dirt. They're going through the earth. We're channeling their ancestors to undo their hurt. 'Cause once upon a time, we all could read and write. That legalese is lies. Strong men spelled cursive ties. Strong men all caps disguise. They've gentrified our lives. We've redefined their sights. We've redefined their kind. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Yes, this shit is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose it. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? Play their game, but by our rules. I'm Queen Annie the Maroon. I am Queen of Dongo. I am Queen of Zinga. I am Yenaga. I'm Carlotta and Fernina. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When you chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor you gon' choose? I am a goddess. I am a priestess. I chant these mantras and they all repeat it. If we make a promise, this land we gon' seize it. Get vengeance for Mother Earth treason. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. This for the gentrifiers. Repetition of empires. Invading land with gunfire. Slavery not hostess for hire. Income not what you desire. Outcome working jobs for hours. Mindset waiting to retire. Never stop working for dollars. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor you gon' choose? When you chant, they gonna lose. 'Cause this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. Which ancestor we gon' choose? When we chant, they gonna lose. My spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors defend. I got that juice to transcend. My spirit guides come in with that sin. My ancestors defend. I got that juice to transcend. 'Cause I am a Santi. I am a Sata. I am a host. I am a homie. I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. 'Cause I am a Santi. I am a Sata. I am a host. I am a homie. I am a Tamba. Yes, I am a Tamba. Yes, this is juju music. This shit here is voodoo music. When we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose? Hey, choose. 'Cause when we chant, they gonna lose. Which ancestor we gon' choose?
With the wrong witch, and she knows it, and now you know it.
Manifested by elements ethereal, I knew of terrestrial material, intertwined celestial of imperial, infiltrating corporation of oppressive serial. Resilience is something like a miracle, observing kinfolk and draconian material. The more equipped for ascension, the more one seems to be treated as inferior. Dr. Umar said, the white man's heaven here, Asian man heaven here, Arabic man heaven here. But the black man heaven fit. The black man heaven fit, 'cause it lies in death. Release from the karma debt, release from all the stress, release what we don't confess. In order to live, I guess we must be bodiless. Makes me wonder, if we made out of greatness most fit for this plane, then why we the most hated? Why we the most hated? Was I in court waiting for my sentence? Listening to a witness accuse me of unfitness to remain in these cosmic dimensions? Is that why we repent and we ask for forgiveness? The hours and days, they feel repetitious. Oppressive energy soaking up my minutes. Purple haze blowing smoke on my grimace. Another nobody traveling out of limits. Exiled from cosmos as penance. Or maybe this time it's just the intermission. Like Jesus chapters that went missing. Traveling and gaining knowledge between the dimensions. Christ consciousness bringing me ascension. Kundalini flows up now, where are my intentions? So don't cry for me when my time is risen. Sing some praises, cause you know that I made it. And know you're all my extensions. Yes, you're all my extensions.
Peace, peace, y'all. Welcome to the Planetary forecast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so happy to be here. We have a lot of stuff going on during this month of stars. In my background, pick and choose when I want to hurt. We're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back. There we go. That's better. Because we in the Cosmic Nobody Convention season. So it's only right that we have the Cosmic Nobody Convention background. Peace, goddess. I am feeling outstanding. How about that? How are you feeling? Thank you so much for tapping in. Love to have you here. Shouts to the squad on TikTok. We got a new TikTok squad forming too, and I love it here. Yay! Expansion. So happy Astronomy Month, everybody. This is the month of stars and stuff. This is also the month where we get to catch all the messier objects in the sky and how many can you catch. And it's going to be a great time and we love it here. We have lots of meteor showers and alignments that we're going to talk about today. Actually, today, if you guys are into like aspects and like different shapes being made on the astrological wheel, it was a kite made today. And kites are cool because kites are used for like materializing. Kites have 4 corners, and we're in the month of 4, which is the month of culture, freedom, and the supreme mathematics, which is alignment with like materializing and manifesting, kind of like creating like the cornerstone or the bricks, if you will, to what you're building. So with the kite, right, the front of the kite we had in Pisces. So that was the pioneer energy, was the Piscean energy. So the overall vibe is like Akashic records, downloads, spirit speaking. We love it here, right? Anything beneath the horizon, your nervous system and your nerves and neurons and the pituitary pineal gland and everything underneath the horizon, right? So that is the ultimate, energy. And it just so happened that the other 3 angles today of the kite are in earth energy. So of course, what's opposite of Pisces is Virgo. Now, Virgo and Pisces, it could be a little bit of challenging energy because they are opposing energy, but it's not as bad as a square. Square is the 90-degree situation. So what the opposing energy is, like the goal is to find harmony there, right? The goal is to find harmony in the middle because the kite creates kind of like a cross. I will get into the other 2 corners in a second. But these 2, pretty much energies is, you got immutable water and immutable earth. So again, coming back to that 4 of stability and creation. So then on the other 2 sides, we just so happen to have Capricorn, finding a balance between Capricorn and Taurus. So that cardinal earth energy of getting things going and the initiator and a bit bossy, if you will, but still that determined goat. And then that, feisty bull were at opposing energies today in the kite. So finding, that direct correlation between the root chakra, because Capricorn is associated with Saturn, which rules over the root chakra. And then Taurus is in alignment with the heart chakra as it's ruled by Venus. So finding that correlation or that medium between your root chakra and your heart chakra. A lot of you guys are doing things for your root chakra that doesn't necessarily align with your heart chakra, which is like your self-value and how you value other people, places, things, situations, and ideas. Your love, self-love. Some of y'all out there sharing, selling things that y'all don't want to sell. Spending time how you don't want to spend it. And your heart chakra will be very loud on that energy today. or vice versa. Some of you guys are like, your heart is not in line with your root chakra. Like, the Taurian can fall into a heavy, like lazy mode or like overactive, overworking mode because it could be very materialistic. And that could be very strenuous on the root chakra. So, just finding the balance between that Taurian and Capricorn energy, that harmony there, and then finding a harmony between the Virgo Pisces energy is heavy there. Maybe some of you guys got relationships with Pisces in your Virgo, or Virgo in your Pisces, or a Taurus as a Capricorn, or Capricorn as a Taurus. Well, these four corners are also telling you how to, the energies that need to be, paid attention to in this realm. You got Pisces, which rules over the sacral chakra, the realms of Mayat, and you got Virgo ruling over the throat chakra, the realms of Ashu. Then you have Capricorn on the root, and the heart is Venus, Taurus energy. So those are the four, chakras. Those are the four zodiacs that created the kite today of stability. And it was dope because today in the Supreme Mathematics, this is the month of 4, and this is the day of 3. So it was this day of expression and communicating, the knowledge, wisdom that, we have and that we gained in day 1 and 2 of this month, right? So tomorrow, as you invoke things, it's cool that today was a day 3, which is associated with Gemini energy of communication. Having that on a Wednesday is really dope because Wednesday is the day of invocation. This day is, pretty much ruled by Eshu, Eshwa, Lagwa, the god of the crossroads, communication. So that's pretty fly. Said I got all set up for school today. I'm going from 0 to 100. I know that's all right. I'm glad to have y'all here. And just to let y'all know, I did team up with Zodiac Talk Bar. I will be doing an astrology 101 course with y'all in May, on May 23rd, which I'm really excited about. So if you guys are interested in, aligning with that class, so I don't sound like I'm speaking, I don't know what I'm speaking to some of y'all, but so it doesn't feel like I am. Join the class. Reach out to Zodiac Talk Bar, or you can reach out to me, and I'll direct you to the goddess so that you can set up admissions or whatever, what have you. So when I first started doing a planetary forecast, I was heavy on reading like the Kabbalah definitions of the astrological energies, and I just wanted to come back to that with y'all today. I had a little download to do that with y'all today. I guess that's something of the kite with the Pisces energy. Pisces Virgo is your life. It's energy that I'm very used to. It's not something that I'm very used to with the Pisces Virgo energy. That's something new that recently came into my space as a Virgo. I started, attracting Piscean energy. It's been interesting. I don't really be around Piscean energy too much, so this is new. It's interesting. Yeah. Hi, peace, Amanda. Thank you. Welcome, and peace to everybody that's coming through on TikTok. So glad to have you here. Just to let you guys know, I do have lives. I do lives where I allow guests to come on and speak with me. However, when I do the planetary forecast, it's so much energy. I meant to say that too, but it's so much information that I try to get through that I don't really make space for guests on the planetary forecast. But you guys can definitely hit me up for the Cosmic Nobodies Conversations, which is a pop-up podcast I do, and I would love to have you guys on to join me in those realms. So without further ado, let's talk about the astrology. So we do not study astrology so we can learn how to draw upon people's horoscopes. Actually, the purpose of Kabbalistic astrology is to rise above the influences of the cosmos and take over our own lives. Okay. The zodiac sign that we are born transmits to us all the negative and positive traits that we need to affect our own transformation. The signs of the zodiac are not the cause of our personality traits, they're the effect of our personality traits. Our karma from previous lives determine which sign we need to be born under in order to acquire the necessary state traits and attributes that will allow us to correct and transform previous negative activity. The zodiac is merely the mechanism that the soul uses to ensure that particular qualities are infused into it at birth. The patriarch Abraham was the first Kabbalistic astrologer. It was about 3,800 years ago. He wrote the book Sefer Yetzirah, which is the book of formation, and contained within it are all the secrets of the universe, including knowledge of astrology and cosmology. As we delve into Kabbalistic astrology, we find that one significant difference between it and conventional astrology is Kabbalistic astrology uses different calendars. Conventional astrology is based on the solar or Gregorian calendar, while Kabbalistic astrology uses the Hebrew calendar, which takes into account both the positions of the sun and the moon, which is pretty interesting. Something that we do get into here when I do my daily mathematics. Not totally like completely directly, but I do address all these things. Each month we have the ability to take over the astrological influences of the month. So I don't tell you these things of what's going on in the stars and moon and things for y'all to fall under it. Now we do understand that there are some NPCs out here and they just can't help it. They have to fall under it. And I do understand that, strength and weakness is a journey. You're not going to be 100% strong all the time. So sometimes you are going to fall under the cosmos. However, the goal is to rise above them, to use them as tools. So we learn about astrology, astronomy, and the horoscopes to gain the tool that we need to rise above, not so much as to fall under. All right. The Kabbalah features meditations and wisdoms that teach you how to take control of the consciousness of that month. And that's why I do the daily mathematics, so I can show you how the numbers and the stars align for us every month. So we're in the energy of Aries. We're also in the energy of Pisces, as well as on the Vedic scale, we're still in Pisces. We don't enter Aries until like about the 14th, 15th. So I want to start you guys off with Pisces energy, and we're going to get into Aries, and then I'll even walk you into Taurus today. How about that? Pisces completes the astrological cycle that begins with Aries. It is the central column of the water sign and is controlled by two planets, which is Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter controls two signs, which is Pisces and Sagittarius, which is why Jupiter rules over the sacral chakra. And you have Pisces on the internal side of the sacral chakra and Sagittarius on the external side of the sacral chakra. And for those of you guys who don't know, I usually have like a whole PowerPoint presentation. It's very nice looking, and you can find that on YouTube or Facebook. Less nobody's business. But coming back to Pisces. Sagittarius marks the miracles of Hanukkah, and Adar, which is Pisces, it coined the miracle Purim, created by Esther, Mordecai, and the unity between the Jews and Persia. The togetherness and mass effort of unconditional sharing caused the miracle that prevented the total extermination of Israelites in Persia. Jupiter is the planet of success, miracles, expansion of the metaphysical vessel, and our extension to our spirituality. The second planet that rules Pisces, which is Neptune, was discovered only in the 19th century as the planet to rule the abstract. The planet itself has no boundaries or limitations as it is surrounded by gas. It controls intuition, imagination, creativity, and art. It provides us with the ability to see and understand beyond our five senses. The combination of these two planets gives Pisces a very powerful emotional ability. They are remarkably sensitive and vulnerable with the strongest intuition of any sign. They are very deep people, whether it comes to opinion, thought, or inspiration. Pisceans have an uncanny talent for sensitivity towards others, where they can truly enter a person's heart and mind and experience the pain and suffering of others. They have the metaphysical ability to predict the future, and they can often be psychic and clairvoyant. Many Pisceans have a gift for mathematics, science, and metaphysics. The symbol for Pisces is two fish swimming in the opposite direction. The fish swimming against the stream represents the powerful Pisces potential. They can be sharks, as charismatic and strong leaders with vision and clarity about leadership that can guide an entire nation, like Moses, who was also Pisces. Albert Einstein was also a Pisces. But those Pisces who prefer to go with the flow can be weak people who get carried away easily and are prone to addictive patterns of behavior. And so, as you know, we're exiting the age of Pisces. We got a few more years. We're kind of like in that 29 degree, but like increasing in latitude till we get to 0 degree Aquarius. But Pluto has led the way entering Aquarius, so Pluto's doing some transformations before we get there, so we give thanks. But being in the age of Pisces was all about whether you were the weak fish, which was being the sheep being controlled, or you were the shark. You were the shepherd. You were the one doing the controlling. And so, as we enter the year of Aquarius, which is the age of knowing, we're coming more into seeing, oh, these were the sharks. And there's a lot of sharks out there that just refuse to go with the flow of things because they didn't want to be seen as weak. There was a sense of polarity there. It was this or that, right? And you see a lot of us like, oh no, it's no more polarity. Now it's a spectrum. Now it's flavors and 50 shades of gray, not just black and white. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we walk into in the age of Aquarius. So we're walking away from that one extreme or the other. Are you a shark or are you a little guppy? And the sharks is getting a retribution because Pluto, like I said, chose to be the initiator into Aquarius energy to do some things before we get there. Oh, but those Pisces who prefer, I want to get to the part where it says what the thing is. It doesn't say. Anyway, the goal for Pisces energy is to be like the line that goes in between the two fishes. You don't want to be the shark. You don't want to be the guppy. You want to have like a homeostasis in between the two. I am a Pisces sun, Venus, and Lilith, and a Virgo moon. Oh wow! So you do have like that polarity between your sun, moon, and rising. It could put you in a deep space of solitude and overthinking because Virgo got the black holes, and Pisces is the black hole in the ocean, while Virgo is the black hole in the sky. But just learning how to be that energy in the middle is very important. And also, you don't want to repress. It's like you got to learn how to embrace all of that, but it's a lot of isolation and solitude energy there, a lot of overthinking, overanalyzing, and a lot of taking on stuff that don't belong to you. So be mindful of that, because Virgo is definitely the energy of harvesting and servitude, and then Pisces just absorbs everybody's feelings. And so you want to have boundaries. Your space, you need boundaries. And you got to stand on them. If you got some Capricorn or Aries energy somewhere, use that. These are Pisces are delusional. Like I said, I just started attracting Pisces into my personal space, and it's been interesting. Interesting communications, interesting choices being made, interesting social skills. It's just interesting. I'm a Virgo, so it's kind of like I'm seeing what's similar and what's opposite, and finding a balance between the fishes where I'm at. Ashe, that's important. The shark, be careful with that shark energy, because Pluto ain't playing with it. And then we got some funky placements in Pisces that we're going to get into today too. You're welcome, love. You have Mars, Pluto, and Saturn. So Mars, Pluto, and Saturn are all in Scorpio. Oh, you're big water energy. You hold grudges. you hold grudges. My chart ruler is Mercury and Aries. Okay. Mercury and Aries in the 8th. It's the water on that Joan. So you big on this year 8 right now. Your space here is don't be a thespian. We don't do dramatic shit, because that equal opposite energy is going to come to you real easy. We're in the year 8, so that water going to flow real easy right back to you. You want to be careful with going overboard in certain things. Moderation. All right, so now that we have exited Pisces out of the tropical chart, which is our thought process, but we are still in Pisces on the Vedic chart, which is our vortex, the things we attract. So now that I've gone over the Vedic area, let's talk about tropical with Nissan or Aries. Aries is the first of the fire signs, and the first sign in the both lunar and solar astrological cycle. And even though the Hebrew calendar recognizes Rosh Hashanah as a new year, Nisan is actually the first month of the calendar year. Those born under the sign of Aries are typically powerful, energetic, vigorous, and pioneering, aggressive, progressive, militant, and domineering. When it comes to fighting, they will do anything to be the winner and the first to hit the target and defeat the enemy. Historically, the month of Nisan marks the Israelite exile from Egypt, the beginning of the journey from slavery to salvation, from bondage to freedom. According to Kabbalah, this month provides us with the cosmic strength to break free of all limitations and bondage of any kind. Nisan allows us to leave behind the personal blockages that prevent us from achieving true freedom in all areas of life. The same energy that was revealed when the Israelite nation left Egypt is revealed every 14th day of Nisan, when the moon is in full force. Nisan is ruled by Mars, the planet of war, which allows us to wage war on the conflicts in our own lives. It supports us in the infusing of the year with the right consciousness in any war zone, whether it be between nations, people, or are in the conflict that rages between us on a daily basis. The fight between the desire to receive for the self alone and the desire to share. The opportunity to redesign our entire year to implement order instead of chaos, freedom instead of slavery, falls on the 14th of Nisan at the event commonly known as Seder. Each one of us has been given the power to utilize this cosmic window and reign victorious in the battle against adversity. So it's a fun time here. As you can see, a lot of different like warmongering things have been going on since the new year started, depending on whose chessboard you're looking at. And if you look at, let me look at the website. I want to say it's called A People in Time. Let me see. It's like things that happened on this day in history. Well, you got Britannica, of course, history.com. I think it's on this day, but I know that there's one called People something something. And that was the one that I really liked. The People History. That's what it's called. So if you look at the People's History, they tell you all the cool stuff that happened on this day last year. So let's talk about April 4th. So April 4th in 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was shot to death by James Earl Ray at a hotel in Memphis. In 1949, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is NATO, was established. In 1973, New York's World Trade Center was completed. In 1850, LA and San Francisco became cities. That's interesting. That wasn't that long ago. In 1818, the U.S. flag, Stars and Stripes, was created. In 1916, France and World War I Battle of the Somme. So, different things happen around this time. And if you go back into time, it's a lot of like war type stuff. Like April 1st, in 1918, the Royal Air Force was founded. In 1946, Hawaii had an earthquake and a tsunami. Jesus. In 1970, cigarette advertising was banned in the US. In 1999, 11 countries in the European Union adopted the euro as a common currency. And in 2003, Jessica Lynch was rescued in Iraq. What about April 2nd? That's when 1916 and 1918 was just World War I Battle of Somme, right? 1932, Charles Lindbergh, whose son was kidnapped, paid $50,000 for ransom on April 2nd. 1972, Charlie Chaplin returned to the United States. In 1977, Red Rum, the diminutive horse with the heart of a champion, wins the English Grand National for a record third time. In 1982, Argentina invaded the Falkland Islands. In 1992, mob boss John Gotti, often referred to as the Teflon Don, was convicted for the first time. In 2005, Pope John Paul II died. In 2009, G20 summit over global financial problems. Yesterday, on April 3rd, in 1974, there was 148 tornadoes that hit North America from Georgia to Canada within 16 hours. In 1994, civil war broke out in Rwanda. In 2010, Apple released the iPad. So happy birthday, iPad. Today, on April 4th, in 2006, Saddam Hussein was charged with genocide. And if you keep going, you'll see just like a lot of different like war, Aries, new beginning energy, things like that happening, around this time. So, I know that it's easy to get caught up in Aries, things, the powers that be, they like to do their rituals during Aries season because that is the god that they chose out of the pantheon. They choose the god of war. And so like they usually do their rituals at the time, at around this time, some type of mass, something, some type of attack, some type of, false attack is always something, and it's very energetically invoking to everyone's solar plexus chakra, whether it's making people feel weak and defensive and want to rely on the powers that be in their solar plexus chakra for assistance, like the sheep and the age of Pisces, which as we come into the age of Aquarius is going to be more and more difficult to do to the people, because now we're starting to see what it is that they're doing. We're catching the patterns. Hey, you guys do this every year. And now that we're getting in tune with the planets and the stars and we're learning how to harness the universe, we're starting to see how you guys have been harnessing the universe. And now we see that all you're doing is just harnessing. You're not really like, doing the shit you're saying you're doing. You're trying to invoke our energy to get it done. You know what I'm saying? So that's how time is not linear, because sometimes they'll give us the stories before the shit even happens because they want to invoke us to actually make it happen. So yeah, surprisingly, you don't hold grudges. That is interesting. I got to meet you in person. I got to see, because I'm very observant. I got a lot of Virgo placements, and a lot of people say things, but because they don't have that energy awareness, and I do it too. So I should hold more. I'm often okay. So you might be on the other side of the spectrum. But do you forget though? Even though you don't hold a grudge, do you forget? Martin Luther King, one of the greatest men in history, in my opinion. Respect. I have he tried his best. I got my own little one too about Martin Luther King as I went through my little rabbit holes of knowledge. But yeah, that's what's going on with the Aries energy. That's what we've received on this day, like in history over and over again. Let me see if I can see something else on this day. Excuse me. In 1975, on this day, Microsoft is founded as a partnership between Bill Gates and Paul Allen to develop and sell basic interpreters for the Altair 8800. So that was the day too. That's interesting. Interesting. So now let's get into Taurus, because before I come back to you guys with the planetary forecast again, we'll be in Taurus energy. Exciting, right? So Taurus is a fixed sign ruled by Venus, and the Hebrew letters Pe and Vav. Taurus's inner energy is fire and is as it is the left column of the earth sign. Because Taurus is an earth sign, Taurians are in a constant search for stability in life and financial security. They are typically self-employed business owners, which places them in control of their monies and property. Taurians have a very strong will to purchase and buy property, houses, land, and real estate, all in order to support their need for security. Taurians are very capitalistic, jealous, and possessive of their property. They will frequently experience loss of money to learn to let go of the physical world's domination over their lives. I know a few Taurians, I'd be like, please just let go, it's okay. My son is a Taurus, and oh my goodness. Taurians have healing powers and deep talents to be doctors, astrologers, artists, chefs, singers, and of course, business people. The Hebrew name for the month of Iyar, which stands for Ani Hashem Rafekcha. I am God, your healer. This offers us all the ability to instigate healing processes during this month. The signs that best suit Taurus are water signs, which is Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, or the earth signs Virgo and Capricorn. Taurus is associated with the thyroid gland, the neck, and best known by their stiff neck stubbornness. The entire month falls during the period of Sephirah Omer, which is the counting of Omer. During this time, we count 49 days between Pesach and Shavuot, and each day gives us an opportunity to correct negative things that we did in our past. These 49 days are 7 times 7, different levels of negativity, all leading up to the revelation on Mount Sinai and immorality, assessed on Shavuot, because the month of Iyar always falls during the Omar. It is time of low energy. It is time. It is a time in which we can learn. Wait, it is a time in which that we can earn the light that we receive and prepare ourselves for freedom from all forms of death and end in relationships, business, health, and all aspects of life. So it's like learning how to let go of the physical realm just a lot more. Otherwise, the physical things will keep getting taken from you until you learn how to let them go. You have to learn how to let them go. Find balance. Like it's like when you hold those physical things at too high of a regard, you're putting too much weight on them. And when you hold heavy things, eventually you're going to let them go, right? So just to let y'all know, Happy New Year's, first of all. Happy New Year's on the tropical chart. Ogun or Aries rules over Hong Kong, Sierra Leone, Zimbabwe, Senegal, England, Germany, Poland, Palestine, Israel, Syria, and Lithuania. Some cities that Aries rules over is Florence, Krakow, Naples, Utrecht, Marseilles, Birmingham, Cape Town, and Georgia. So I would, pay attention to those spaces in the news. Taurus rules over Cuba, East Timor, Yemen, Serbia, Tasmania, Cyprus, Ireland, Switzerland, Capri, Rose, and the Greek islands. The cities that Taurus energy rules is Eastbourne, Hastings, Palermo, Lucerne, Leipzig, Dublin, and St. Louis. So towards the end of the month, pay attention to those areas. Now, as far as Pisces goes, since on the Vedic chart we're still in Pisces energy, Pisces rules over Tunisia, Nambia, Egypt, Normandy, North Africa, Portugal, Samoa, and Scandinavia. The cities that Pisces rule over is Alexandria, Cowes, Grimsby, Jerusalem, Warsaw, Seville, Bournemouth, and Rio de Janeiro. All pretty places. So, without further ado, let's bring the presentation to the forefront. Let's see. Here we go. Excuse me. I want to add my Google slide. So, as far as like the West African horoscope goes, we started off the month in family, which goes on till April 4th. And this is human oriented, wanting to help everyone around you, solidarity, empathy, and harmony. And family will always be a safe haven during this time. Now, starting April 5th to May 4th, we are in the energy of love every day. And I always know what to do and how to do it, wisdom to be right. And they know which way to go, will know which way the wind blows. Witty and helpful, reliable, good advisor, and must learn how to say no. This season, we're learning how to say no. We're learning how to let go. And we love it here, right? I don't need to go through these things as far as what is a natal chart. Usually I go through these, but I don't feel that today, especially because we went through the Kabbalah and things like that. I just let Spirit tell me what we're going to concentrate on today. And that's where I was with it. As far as the American Indian astrology goes, from March 21st to April 19th, we are in the Falcon or Red Hawk energy, which is pretty much in alignment with Aries. Strength, great observers, never miss out on anything, never lose the ability to see what things as a whole, quick, active, overwhelmingly energetic, brave and persevering, and always having your way. And then from April 20th to May 20th, which is in alignment with Taurian placement, we are in the Beaver, which is the turtle clan. This is water. Physical and sensual, creates happiness and security by building a dam, which is the metaphysicals, the need to build a world. So the need to build something, which is also in alignment with the fact that we're in the month of 4, which is the number of building things. Taurus energy is starting from the first house. The first house is Aries energy, and this deals with the the head mind, because you know the gut controls the mind. Aries rules the solar plexus. Mars rules the solar plexus, but we know the gut controls the mind. So the first house is associated with the head, mind, hair, skin, physical ability, general health, um, physical structure, vitality, and vigor. And the second house, which is Taurus energy, it rules over the right eye, your face, teeth, tongue, nose, voice, nails, brain state, high fevers, disease of heart, stomach, and skin, bone fractures, leprosy, internal fever, brain trouble. All those things deal with the second house. So check on your teeth, check on your mental health, check on your heart health, check on your blood. Start at workout regimen, get your blood flowing and things like that. And then the 12th house, which is Pisces, since we're still there in our Vedic, this rules over our left eye. So you got the right and left eye. Insomnia, the balance of the mind, disability, foot, death, physical pleasure, and sorrow. Also the house of hospitalization, imprisonment, loss of property, marriage problems, and it relates to the cure of diseases. So, the cure is still here, lingering in the Vedic chart. Check that joint out. So, on this chart here that you guys see, and can I give you a little? Let me see if I can do things. Oh yeah, I can do things. So I be on Facebook. I just want to show y'all what I do sometimes. Well, what I do every time I do the planetary dance. Oh, you can't see it because I have a background. Oh, I'm sorry, TikTok. I wanted to show you, but my background said no. But I have a presentation that is on YouTube. So if you guys want to rewatch this later on because you forgot some stuff and you want to rehash, you guys can always come to YouTube and see the whole presentation that I have associated with what I'm telling you guys. And again, my YouTube page is Less Nobody's 1465. So we learned that the sun is always opposing the earth because we look at the cosmos based upon where we're standing at. So everything is always opposite us. We're a little egocentric. So when the sun is in Pisces, that means that the earth is in a Virgo, right? So in the Vedic chart, the earth is in Virgo. So any transit placements, any personal, natal, progressive chart placements that are in Virgo, guess what? The earth is near you and you're having your earthly experiences in those planets, all right? The sun is opposite you in that realm. So the sun is shedding light on your Piscean placements. Now on the tropical, right? We said the sun is in Aries, so that means that on the tropical chart, as far as zodiac goes, the earth is in Libra. And it just so happens that these four placements are also where the north and south node are as well. So the north node is like the direction we're going towards. The south node is where we're coming from, what feels most comfortable. And the goal is to have them to like harmonize with each other. That's like very important. So that's what we have there. And so, what else didn't I go over? We know that we're in the year of the wood dragon, right? We're here till January 29th. This is power and love. We're in the year of the nickel as far as the alchemist horoscope goes. And the alchemist horoscope is just adding up the numbers. So we're in the year of 8, and that's nickel. And this deals with leadership, impressions, achievers strive to stand out, originality and ideas. Biggest fears of the season are boredom and routine. The goal is to, 8 is a very extreme dramatic number. You got high, and low, low. Whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. So if you're over exasperating yourself, you're overdoing things, you're being dramatic, you just doing too much, guess what? It's going to hit you back. So a lot of you guys are manifesting big things and putting forth big energy around this time. It's like you got to be ready for like the return in that energy. It's very important. So as far as like the Egyptian season goes, we so how the Egyptian calendar works, you know how like over here we have 4 seasons, so we have a stability of seasons. In the Egyptian calendar, we have 3 seasons. So we are actually in the season of Shamu, which goes from March to May, and this is the season of the harvest. So their seasons, just like ours, are pretty much rooted in agriculture and planting things and things of that nature. So this is the season of the harvest. And then they divide the the month up by certain days, right? So the energy of Thoth is from April 1st to the 19th. And this is the gods of learning and wisdom, romantic, courageous, wise, energetic, um, and inventive. And then from the 20th to May 7th is Horus. And this is the god of sky, which is also the energy of being courageous, ambitious, optimistic. So Thoth and Horus, the stories of them, and they're big on intellect and architect and teaching and wisdom. You know, those are the energies. So that's what we have for the overall. And it just so happened that this episode of the Planetary Forecast, I just felt the need to go through that with y'all heavily. And usually I go through like the other, aspects. And I probably will later on. But that's where we're at. Also, let's get started. So what we do here at with Less Nobodies and Sunshine Monet is we align the charts, the astral charts, with the chakras. Like, we have that concept that we are all a part of one big body, right? And so being a part of one big body, we're giving, knowledge or wisdom to the fact that this big body has chakras, and our planets on the transit chart are aligning with the chakras of that big body, right? So that's how I present it here, and so we can get into it. So over here in the root chakra, I had a personal year 8 last year. Oh yeah, that's interesting. How'd that go? I don't really know how the personal years go. Like what is this like? When you add your year with the collective year or something. Because I was born in the year of 1, so it's like whatever year we're in, I'm kind of like I'm always divisible by what, but I have a lot of Virgo energy. So this is how you see how like the direct correlations between numerology and astrology, because I'm a heavy mutable energy. I have a stellium in mutable Virgo energy. And I'm born in the year of 1. So 1 is a very mutable number. You could divide 1 into any number. For real. So whatever year we in, that's where I'm at with it. Peace. Welcome. And you can do that too. Like add up the numbers to the year you were born in. And right now we're in the year of 8. So you will see how your personal number would align with the collective number. And then also when I do the daily mathematics, if you know your life path number, you can see how your life path number is in alignment with the life path number of that we're in. Like today was 438. 438 adds up to what? Like that's 15, that's 6. So today was a day of 6. I'm a life path 11. So that's the number of mastery, finding balance and harmony and justice, right? It's also 11 can go to 2, interpersonal relationships. A lot of my stuff derives from interpersonal relationships. Like, my sun and moon are in the 2nd house. So a lot of my stuff is reflected in my interpersonal relationships where I'm at. A lot of my tests come from interpersonal relationships. And so, it being a day of 6, it's like, how is my 2 divided into that 6? 3. And then you look at the difference. The difference is 4. So, and then you can also add them. Well, when we combine, what is it? 8. So you can have those kind of relations with the collective number. and things of that nature. Your life path 11 too. How are your interpersonal relationships? Because I just want to live in a mountain by myself. It was extremely difficult. Believe, because 8 is definitely high highs and low lows. So Saturn rules over the root chakra, y'all. And Saturn brings us the challenges that we need in our space to develop boundaries, discipline, order, survival of self, basic resources, our groundedness, things of that nature. Now, in this society, we have been taught to misinterpret challenges as traumas, especially the social media. This shows the social media atmosphere when everything is a trauma, everything is a mental health disorder, wow, wow, wow. And basically what they're doing is misdirecting your root chakra and weakening it. When you own those labels and you put them in your root chakra, which is your Aquarius rules over the feminine side of your root chakra. This is associated with a star, which is self-knowledge, the first sphere in the tree of life. And it's the Kether Sephirah. So you'll see that connection between, because the tree of life has the roots going upward and downward, because as above, so is below. So while Aquarius is in your root chakra, it's also a direct connection to your crown chakra at the same time, because you're supposed to be rooted up into the cosmos, and down is also up. And as we enter Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, more you'll see that more, that there's water beneath us and there's water above us, and the deeper you go down, as the deeper you go up. It makes more sense over time, especially when NASA finally starts telling the truth about how stuff is really set up and they really don't know what's going on, or they do know what's going on because they the computer coders. But yeah, so Saturn brings the challenges in your life for your root chakra, and so the goal here is to stop, labeling challenges as traumas, and and gain some strength, gain some boundaries and discipline and order. Otherwise, you're going to keep repeating situations. So Aquarius is on the internal side of the root chakra. This is like your social awareness and your social justice, right? How you unify with all or you detach, and this comes from your knowledge. Like, oh, you're my mom, you're supposed to be like this, and if you're not like this, then I'm not cool with you, or you are like this and I'm super attached. Dad, cousins, grandma, friends, classmates, whatever. That's Aquarius energy. That's the social awareness, the unity with one, the titles and entitlements you give, right? That's knowledge. So over here in this space, we got Pluto right at the beginning at a 1 degree, creating transformation right at the gate. And Pluto is in the second house. So now we're transforming the pentacles of society. We're receiving transformation in the money of society, the value, the interpersonals, the bonds, and the contracts of society. All that is happening while Pluto is in the second house. All right. Hermit vibes and mountain life. Yes. I was going to say that I got land in the desert. I want to go live in the desert. And I got a couple people I wouldn't mind bringing with me, but everybody else, I'll visit y'all virtually once a year. Stop labeling opportunities disguised in resistance as trauma. Yes, they are opportunities to gain strength and wisdom and knowledge and understanding. And by us labeling them as traumas, we're lacking the capacity to show self-accountability, self-awareness, and self-strength. And we're waiting for a pill or a teacher or a therapist or someone to come help us and save us. And that's a big issue with our root chakra, is always looking for somebody to come into our space and save us. So Pluto is here creating transformations in Aquarius space. Then we have Psyche here. So Psyche is your mindset, your mental awareness, thought process, right? And that's also in the second house. So where are your thoughts at on your pinnacles, on your priorities, on your relationships and things of that nature? Right after that, then we move more so into the fixed area of Aquarius, which is Anubis and then Horus, which we talked about Horus already because the second part of this month will be in Horus, right? So having Horus in Aquarius and Anubis in Aquarius, this is like spiritual knowledge now that we walk into. So you walk into your mindset as a human, with the psyche, whereas your actual like brain, that configuration here. But then when you come into Anubis and Horus, let me go through my notes so I can give y'all more specifications of things. But Horus is your actual quest for self knowledge, inner warrior, your search for self understanding, and your thoughts and habits and emotions that are tied into that understanding. So, the better understanding you have of your social circle and your awareness and things of that nature, is it changes how you move, it changes how you behave, it changes how you treat other people, right? And then Anubis deals with, that's the god of death, and that realm of transformation or whatever. So going into that space is how you dealing with that transformation, how you dealing with the recycling of energy and that knowledge of things. Um Jesus Christ. 16. So then we get into Chariklo. Chariklo is how we show grace, right? How we show grace in the realms where we could be showing karma. And right now that is in Aquarius as well. So your knowledge of self is assisting you on how you implement, you know, that level of grace to other people. Well, how would I want people to treat me? See, once upon a time, people didn't think about how they wanted to be treated. It was just like, oh, off with their head, off to the chambers, this, that, and the third. Where we're coming into a space where people getting a little bit softer than that. People starting to think about things. I seen somebody had made a reel. It was supposed to be funny, but it was interesting that they made it. They was like, people talk about serial killers, and they send their serial killers to die by a guy whose job is to be a serial killer. He actually kills killers. He's the executioner, right? And he's like, how is one better than the other? And it's like the fact that the public is opening up that dialogue and having those conversations and stuff. It's actually pretty interesting. And it's just showing like the transformations that's happening in that space, which is pretty cool. So Chariklo has a lot to do with that, giving grace and how you give grace, or how you show karma, how you lay the sword down or whatever. And it's coming in the more we become aware of society, our unity with each other, the unity of our energy, it's going to transform. And then, last but not least, we have Fama here in the third house. So famous individuals in our community is also in this realm of Aquarius. Now remember, we started this joint with Pluto. So Pluto is, setting the tone for all of these placements here, unreal, revealing a lot of these things, providing transformation in a lot of these spaces. Again, we're talking about the second house, which is, value, materialism, interpersonal relationships, bonds and contracts with people that have been in contracts with one another, interpersonal relationships with one another, their secrets, the power, all those things is unraveling and coming out, right? That's all Pluto kicking that off in all these different placements. The fact that Anubis is here too, and Anubis deals with death and moving towards the crossroads is very interesting, because I was on a podcast earlier today and I had brought up the thought that, was it like last year when they had the court cases about like Twitter and stuff like that. They had brought up some, what do you call it, newscasters that said that a lot of these people that they're talking about on these channels, they have already been unalived, and we're just slowly being breadcrumb the story. And having Pluto and Anubis here in Aquarius, that might come out a lot bit more. At least, someone, going to the other side, in their plays with the other side. So all of that is in Aquarius. The third house is also in Aquarius, which is our community, our communication. It could be unfocused and scatterbrained, but the goal is to be focused. So whatever community it is that you choose to be in, whether it's the virtual community, the physical community, your familial community, the community in your house, whatever, what have you. In that space is where, that power to be one with all, that Kether needs to come through. Find focus in that, because to be scattered in that, it leaves you weakened to like fall for anything. You want to be careful with that. So in the masculine side of the root chakra, that's ruled by Capricorn energy. So Capricorn, we got all of these, we got a whole bunch of asteroids there. We got Ceres bringing the nurturing child, is the children over here. So we got to watch out for our babies in this space and time, creating power and underlining structure over here with them. Isis and Cletia, Ganymede, abundance is also over here. Osiris is over here. Pholus, which, a Pholus brings extremities. It kind of like amplifies, as well as abundantia. They both like amplify the asteroids or planets or whatever celestial bodies that they're around. Harmonia and Pele. So overall, the energy over here is like directed towards like protection of the children. Again, comes to a space of death and rebirth here with that Osiris and Pholus energy, as well as Pele. And nurturing energy. So it's like a nice yin and yang here between life and death, give and take in the Capricorn. All in all, on the Vedic scale, Pluto is still in Capricorn. So we want to be mindful of, it's time to create and manifest a new infrastructure for real, and an underlying structure. And it's time to like gear it towards the children. It's time to gear it towards the youth. Like, I won't say adults, we had our time, but like, we have been on this virtual platform for a few years now, communicating with each other, gaining knowledge, sharing knowledge. And now it's time to pour into our children, pour this knowledge into our children. It's time to surround them and embrace them with this knowledge and provide them with balance and things like that. Like, if we're reading these things and knowing these things, then we have to go to our children and we have to protect them from said things. We can't just turn the phones off and be like, oh, well, la, la, la. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's time to implement a community around our youth that's growing up into this space, because they're in these virtual platforms too. And if your children are still in the public school system, they're definitely being exposed to certain things, whether it's in computer class with their friends or, just in downtime on their own time, things of those nature. So you want to be able to, have a community. If your children don't listen to you personally because you're boring, like, it's good to have other people around you to say, okay, like, we'll take your children, like mentorship programs, all those type of things. They all matter. And right now, Saturn is in Pisces, and we're about to work our way up to Pisces, which rules over the internal side of the sacral chakra. So Saturn is bringing challenges to the internal side of our sacral chakra. Saturn is bringing, and I'm going to move to the next slide as I talk about Saturn. Saturn is bringing a lot of challenges to Pisces, which is an association with Mayat. Mayat is your heart as light as a feather. Now, Saturn is that energy of Babalao. And the story Babalao likes to do is he likes to walk around with the Mayat scales to see if your heart is as light as a feather. And if it is not, then it gets eaten by the alligator, right? And so in this space, a lot of people hearts have not been as light as a feather. A lot of people have been choosing to be that shark I was talking about in that Pisces energy, being a manipulator and things of that nature. And so all of that stuff is coming out. And that's what Saturn is doing. Saturn is creating challenges for them to come forth and confess. It's not so much as, I know a lot of us like to be like, oh, the planets are beating your ass, they're fighting you. But the planets want those individuals to win too. Because in this life, these individuals ain't been doing right. They've been, abusing people, places, things, situations. They've been doing weird stuff. But the universe wants them to straighten out too, because that energy still matters. Energy does not die. It's not created or destroyed. It's just recycled. So that energy is still going to exist somewhere. So the universe is pulling that stuff out forward. It's important that they do get their due diligence and they do get the transformations they need, rather than just being unalive. Because if you unalive them, that energy is still going to go somewhere. It's still going to be transformed somewhere into some other people, place, thing, situation. Whether it's a storm or something over here, so no, it's still going to be transformed into something. So that's why I really believe in healing. Like healing is so important. Healing is way more important than just getting your lick back. Like we got to heal this situation because the energy is not going to die. Um, you can unalive somebody physically, but that energy, like I don't know if I ever seen that Denzel Washington movie Fallen. And that's what made me think of like they executed the man, right? They electrocuted the man, but then his energy didn't die. All people had to do was touch each other's hand and they were passing his energy. They were still committing his will. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly how it is. That's a good movie to show, that's exactly how it is, although I was saying and so Pisces is creating challenges for them, calling on them to confess and straighten themselves out. Now, how the way they go about that, because them folks, they do deal with the book of the dead. So they do know that if they unalive themselves, that they could play around with their energies and come back in a different body and keep doing their 1-2s. And that's why you see a lot of different people on these screens that look just alike, and it's so weird, and it's like, oh, that looks like a twist of 2-3 different people and 2-3 different famous people, and it's like, yeah, because their energy didn't die, they put it in a new body. They know how to do that stuff. We simplify it to the word cloning, but that's like the book of the dead magic, and how they used to be having like the mummies and all the jars they used to have around them, so that when they uncovered their bodies, they could bring them back to life with the things that were in the jar. And that's why when you look at a lot of these people on the screens, they look like people from ancient time, ancient black white pictures and paintings and stuff like that too. And that's because the energy doesn't die. And these folks know that. Another movie to go back to is The Mummy. What did they do in The Mummy? The energy did not die. They brought the mummy back to life. He was trying to bring his lady back to life, and everybody's just coming back to life. That's a part of it, It's not a fairy tale. It's not a far-fetched thing because we see it happening. So over here in Pisces with Saturn, we have Venus, which is our part chakra. This is our priorities, our emotional self, value, our different relationships and how we feel about those relationships with other people as well as ourselves. We also have Mars, which is our motivation and our ambition. We Neptune, which is our subconscious and things. How much you need? You're welcome. Love you. Okay, so you have Venus, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune, right? These are major celestial bodies we have here. So we have a nice chunk of major celestial bodies here. So again, Venus rules over our heart chakra, Mars rules over our solar plexus chakra, Saturn rules over our root chakra. So, and then we know Neptune rules over the feminine side of our sacral chakra. So we have 4 chakras being represented here in Maya. So in the realms of love and relationships, we say our heart has to be light as a feather in our relationships with other people, but is your heart as light as a feather with yourself as well? A lot of you guys be abusing yourself. Whether you're abusing yourself to work harder, to obtain more material things, or you don't like the way you look, you keep trying to abuse your body to look different, or you abuse your body to be liked and accepted by other people, you allow other people to use you, things like that. The goal is to keep your heart as light as a feather in all different situations. So trust, a lot of those situations are going to repeat themselves back into our space, and we'll get into the Mercury retrograde in a moment to talk about that, because Mercury deals with our moral integral code, health, wellness, and daily routine. That's going to talk about different ways, because I know right now Mercury is in Aries, but it will come back to Pisces, and it is in Pisces on the Vedic chart. So that is in alignment with some of these celestial bodies, as far as like, is your heart as light as a feather? Like, it's kind of like somebody keep poking you and keep tapping you on the shoulder. And at what point are you going to scream? You should never scream. You don't have to scream. Just take a deep breath. and move forward. That's the best thing you could do. Because Mars is here too in Pisces, so it's like your solar plexus chakra. When you're enforcing your boundaries and your law and your mayat, are you still keeping yourself as light as a feather when you do that? I know that, I just got to talk about executioners and the eye for an eye and getting your look back. That's not your job. That's not your job. Your job is not to mirror nobody's dusty ass energy. Your job is not even to mirror anybody's good energy. You're supposed to be a good person because you're supposed to be a good person. You're supposed to treat people right because you're supposed to treat people right. You're supposed to keep your heart light because you're supposed to keep your heart light. You're not doing that on contingencies of what the other people, places, things, situations are doing, because that means that you are the little fish and you easily waver, and the universe can put you in a totally different situation and you won't flip your shit because you're not sturdy. You're not sturdy, and that's why Saturn is here too, because Saturn is giving you the challenges you need to be sturdy here. Sturdy, the heart should be light as a feather. The universe wants that transformation to happen here, right? The fortune is also here, so when you do well here, the fortune comes back. When you treat people good and you're just naturally good, and even in spaces where you're being triggered and you still keep yourself light, the pinnacles come back to you like, look, you did the right thing, you're doing good, you got it. Aphrodite, Cupido, and Nymph are also here. So when it comes to a lot of you guys romantic relationships, a lot of you guys are having different kind of awakenings about what you want in a romantic relationship. You want somebody whose heart is light as a feather. You want somebody who has a sense of law and justice and truth to themselves. You're learning how to invoke that in yourself as well so that you can receive that. So it is like a grand awakening of people coming out. Pisces also deals with Akashic energy too. So a lot of you guys dealing with Akashic bonds and Akashic contracts and stuff like that, and having realizations of that is calling on you to treat different people, places, things, situations different, because you're like, oh, I'm supposed to learn from these things. I'm supposed to do these things different here. So I'm going to do these things different here. Academia is also here, and it's in the third house. So like I told y'all, I got the astrology school coming. I also got a class to build your own tarot cards. I got a class for energy awareness coming. And I'm not the only person that's coming out with classes. There's a lot of astrologists, astronomers, healers, diviners coming out with classes. And that's what's happening here with the academia and Pisces energy. It's time for the mystery schools to come back open. It's time for us to, take back education, and to get away from these individuals that have been moving like sharks. It's important here for our community, says the third house ruled by Aquarius, that academia is in. Yes, pieces. Orpheus is also here in Pisces energy. Now Orpheus is like, I don't want to lie to y'all, because me and the asteroid, we kind of knew, but I did write a whole bunch of notes. I was going through my notes. Oh yeah, that's what I thought it was, but I was making sure, because when I think of Orpheus, I think of the Lyra, right? Because we got the lyric meteor shower coming to, and we'll talk about that later. But Orpheus is the musical and lyrical abilities. If you can communicate through a language of music and what your music can be used for. So you want to be mindful of the music happening in the space and time. A lot of music out here is to keep them sharks sharking and to keep the guppies guppying. And so, especially if you're making music and you out here being a siren. But the 25 degree is near Neptune too. So a lot of the Orpheans that have been utilizing music in this Piscean way, they're coming in contact with Neptune. So they're dealing with their Akashic energy too. So we already know that shit gonna come back to them. It's gonna bounce back to them. And we see that a lot of these artists like that have been doing so well for so long, their stuff is starting to flop and come back to them and stuff like that. And people are starting to be aware, like, I don't want to hear these frequencies, I don't want to hear these lyrics, I don't want to hear these things, I don't want to hear that thing. We want more nurturing sounds. We want more sounds that, feed our intuitive spirit and stuff like that. Or if it's in the fourth house, that's the moon, that's the intuition. So, yeah. And not only is the fortune here, which is the cross pathway of the ecliptic and the moon's pathway, but the asteroid Fortuna is also here. So a lot of abundance here in tapping into your universal love, law, justice, and truth. And then we're in the year of 8. 8 is associated with Mayat and the Oya energy or whatever. So it's very important to y'all it's very important this year to just keep it light, keep it tight. You really want to be in alignment with Mayat, y'all. I promise you do, because as you can see, it's a lot of storms, a lot of things happening with maritime law, a lot of things happening in the waters, whether we're talking about the currency and the banks, all the water type, lingo and legalese they use here on this concrete that they built on top of the water. All this stuff is coming out, and it's not up to you to be nobody karma. If you decide to be somebody's karma, the energy is definitely going to bounce back to you. I know it doesn't feel that way. I know it feels like you're doing something righteous. I understand that the initial energy when you start learning about things is anger and frustration. However, you got to smooth that out when you start bringing the spiritual, side to it. You too stuck on the fire. Now bring in the water to calm your ass down, because this ain't that. What we do in this year of 8, which is the year of conception, we will give birth to in the year 9. So you got to be mindful, like, what kind of world are we trying to give birth to? Y'all want to stay at war? Then go ahead. Get y'all lick backs. Play on karma. Wish bad on people. Keep doing all that bullshit. That's what we're going to give birth to, and we ain't going to get nowhere. We're in the same spot because you had to get your lick back. You had to mirror dusty energy. You had to wish bad on people. You over here clapping with people because you think somebody getting unalive for this, that, and the third. And that's none of your business. That's between them and their gods. They know their heart was light as a feather. We know what's going to come to them. And we still moving in that Charikla. Charikla in Aquarius for a reason. Be in that grace of space. Mind your business. Sagittarius is on the masculine side of the sacral chakra. So with Sagittarius over here, Sagittarius is the oracle sage and the wisdom. It's like where we get our downloads from. It's also the energy of generosity and optimism, right? Expansion is heavy here. And so we start the month off with moon here. So on April 1st at midnight, we had the moon in Sagittarius setting the scene, kicking it off, like downloads upon downloads on generosity and optimism and keeping it light, keeping it tight. And it was in the first house, the house being ruled by Aries. So it was on the overall temperament of the collective to be in this space of optimism. And we love it here. And we can't wait for the flowers and the weather. And it's beautiful. And then, and we had that at a 29 degree too. So that was like in the static and about to go into Capricorn, if not an hour or so from there. And we're going to end the month with the moon in Capricorn. So we kind of get like a nice little full circle here. Destin is here in the first house at a 7 degrees. So tapping into that third eye is what's going to bring you close to your destiny. Y'all start trusting y'all downloads and y'all responses that y'all get. A lot of people be like reading these stories, these biblical stories about God speaking back to them. And you think it's this big, grandiose, thespian, this type thing. And it's really not. It's just as simple as you meditating and you hearing an answer and you following through with it. Embrace that. Because Palace is also here like a degree later. Like Palace is a genius, like qualities you overlook, which is your ability to be an oracle, a sage, downloading the wisdom. You keep overlooking that, you're going to miss your message. So Lilith is also here. A lot of you guys are suppressing your ability to receive messages, and that because it feels weird to you. You're not ready to open yourself up to the messages. So as you suppress that and you see other people walking out with the messages, or other people, I won't say quote unquote believing, but trusting, their self as a vessel of, a pathway of messages and stuff like that. You won't get triggered, like, oh, y'all over here looking at stars and numbers. Oh, y'all over here doing this. Oh, you over here doing it. Yeah, you're trying to oppress other people and what they're doing because you haven't embraced your gift as an oracle or sage and your style of download, So embrace your stuff so you can stop hating on other people's stuff. That's what I got for that. Talent is also here. That's pretty self-explanatory. A lot of us do have the talent and tapping into that oracle and sage of self, and that's beautiful. Prometheus is like the beginning type of energy. And that's where a lot of us is going to come to. It's like our beginning, our Akashic record, where we from it, we're like the beginning of things. This also gives, come back. This also is in alignment with Pallas and Lilith as well, because it also gets into your rebellious spirit, your drive for innovation, areas where you challenge the status quo, points where you feel most restricted and restrained, and your relationship with authority, and where you feel tortured. And of course, it would be in the space of the Oracle Sage of Wisdom, because that has been demonized, in the beginning of things, with the witch trials and the crusades and the April Fools and all these different things, have put us in a space where we feel like, oh, it's not okay to read into this. It's not okay to read. And some of you guys fully embrace that side of yourself. However, you still see it as being rebellious rather than you see it as being in flow with the Most High. And so mindset is everything, and how you're choosing to interpret things and think about things. All of that is very, very important. So be mindful of that. The first house is also, we also started the month off with the first house being in Sagittarius. So like our overall temperament was in the rooms of download and opening ourselves up to spirit. And hopefully spirit told y'all it is not the space and time to begin look backs. So now we are in the solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is ruled by Mars. The solar plexus chakra is our self-expression, self-esteem, our courage, confidence. This is where we get our energy and motivation from. This is also where we get our aggressions and our anger from. The gut controls the mind. So you think about the fire in your gut. The fire in your gut will tell you like when danger is around, when you're hungry, when you're getting hangry, when you're with thirst, when you're not in good company, when you're nervous, when you are in good company, all these things. That's all, that fire in your gut, directing to you. The gut controls the mind, right? If by design that McDonald's is yellow and red, it's letting you know right now, I control that gut and I control that root chakra. What's up? You got McDonald's money? And so Mars is in Pisces as well. We talked about Mars being in Pisces. Um, So we have the root chakra in Pisces with Saturn in Pisces, and we have our solar plexus in Pisces. All right. So it's in that space of just making sure whatever law and order you're enforcing, may it be in alignment with Maya. May it be in alignment with universal law, justice, and truth. That's very, very important this year, because if you find yourself moving outside of it, you will be quote unquote chastised. You know what I mean? And this is in the third house of Aquarius, still coming back to the space of community. Third house deals with like your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, those cousins you grew up with, the aunts and uncles you grew up with, people in your neighborhood, people you might have like went to school with, elementary school, whatever. All that stuff is like third house energy. And you have that Aquarius energy over top of the third house. So it's like having this like these both are air energies too, because third house is Gemini and Aquarius is air. So you have that Aquarius energy, which is like the unity and the power amongst these circles and stuff, and really being, ambitious towards like figuring those things out, because Mars also deals with strategy. And because the gut controls the mind, the gut has to have some level of intellect and strategy about going how to do things, right? So mindful of that. We started the month off with Mars at a 708, which is pretty cool. 7 deals with the third eye. So lots of, again, we were open to the downloads on April 1st at midnight. So if you was awake and you was getting downloads and you were doing the cars and the stars and just meditating or whatever you were doing, like it was definitely a good space to do that. Over here in Aries, we started off the month, and mind you, I'm talking about the tropical chart here. I do get into the Vedic and Draconic chart. As I do back and forth my synthesis, but I definitely get more so into it on the later on the next part of the planetary forecast, and also when I do my daily mathematics. But on the tropical chart, we have the sun. We started the month off with the sun at 11:55, which is interesting because those are two master numbers. You had 11 at the mastery of self and 55 at the mastery of your community, communication, and inner child. So, and that comes together is 66. That's the mastery, in that space of servitude, self-organization, wealth, health, daily routine, things of that nature, which is pretty cool. And then the sun was also in the fourth house, which is the Cancer house, realigning with the moon. And then that's the feminine energy, intuition. Again, 1st of April, we was open. We was out here open. Um, Mercury is also here, so we have our throat chakra here in Aries. But like I told y'all on the Vedic scale, and if Mercury, well, Mercury starts off the month in Aries on the tropical and Vedic because it's at a 27 degree, and the Ayana Masa, which is the difference between tropical and Vedic, is 24 degrees. However, throughout the month, Mercury will eventually reverse back into Pisces on the tropical and Vedic. It'll reverse back into Pisces on the Vedic scale first. Peace, Timmy. How you feeling? How you feeling? So yeah. So with Mercury going back in retrograde, so initially what happens, especially for you guys that have been in the shadows, like what the fuck? So Mercury being in retrograde in Aries, Mercury deals with invocation, right? It deals with your moral and integral code. It deals with your daily routine, your thought process, how you listen, how you speak, how you teach, how you learn, right? And so Aries is the enforcement and the courage. Aries also deals with anger and aggression. So you'll find yourself being put back into different experiences that might invoke that anger and aggression out of you. It might invoke, that expression. The goal is to learn how to speak up, but you want to speak up without so much Mars energy. Like I keep telling y'all, the goal is to keep your light as your heart as light as a feather. You ain't here to get no lick backs. Don't match nobody dusty ass energy. You're not here to be nobody's mirror to no dank ass bullshit. That's not what you're not here. That's not what you're here to do. if you're gonna be the yin, be the yang. Fuck what the yang is doing. If you're here to be the yang, be the yang. Fuck what the yin is doing. You walk in your authentic self on your with your root chakra stable to where it's not dependent upon what other people are doing. You understand what I'm saying? It's so important. Easier said than done. Promise you it is, especially as you go through this retrograde and you'll see certain people, places, things, situation, events reverting back to old behaviors and certain triggers coming back into your space. And it's just like, okay, are you going to behave the same in these spaces? Are you going to behave different? And it's not just behavior. Where's your mindset? Are you still getting angry on the inside? Are you still getting angry in your heart? Are you still getting angry in your mind? Are you still? Because if you still, then you need to strengthen that will. Bars. And that's the goal here. That's what we're trying to do here. Because fuck all that extra shit. So then we also have the North Node here. This is the area that we're going into. New beginnings, gang. And it's in the 4th house. 4th house being ruled by Pisces. So 4th house is that, feminine side, that internal side, your intuitive space, safe spaces that you create, how you nurturing and how you being nurtured. And it's in Pisces. So it's in the deep waters. Y'all deserve these things. It's written in your Akashic records that you deserve this. So allow yourself to have it. Don't be scared, because you got to get your Mars strength to have that confidence and courage to, a lot of you guys manifesting things that you want. Remember, the gut controls the mind and the gut has the desires, right? So a lot of y'all scared of y'all desires. Y'all kind of got like the wishy-washy solar plexus chakra. Y'all want to work on that. Stabilize that drum. Go back down to the root chakra if you have to. Chiron is also here, transmuting our wounds into strengths, which is essential here in this space and time. As you we're transmuting our wounds as a personal, we're transmuting wounds as friends, families, communities, transmuting our wounds as tribes, as nations, as races, as neighboring countries, transmuting our wounds as earthlings, transmuting our wounds as humans on the circle of life with the other species, transmuting our wounds as the planet Earth amongst other planets. There's a lot of transmutation here going on all different levels, and we're calling for new beginnings in this space. Amor is also here. That's pretty self-explanatory. That's love. Daphne is also here. Daphne deals with like your unrequited love that you return back into your space. So like when you come into the space of enforcing the Maya and self, or the things that you want to do, there is a possibility it won't be requited. it's a possibility you're gonna get that backlash or that pushback or whatever in certain places, because not everybody want to hear what you gotta say. Not everybody respect, and a lot of people that you feel like you want to fix your mouth to speak to, you already know they're not gonna respect nothing you gotta say. So that's where the Daphne is, and that's why it's not your responsibility to get a lick back or be nobody's karma or do no nut shit. You know what I'm saying? That's not your responsibility. You know, it's already written in stars. Like, some of these people just don't give a fuck. Some of these people gonna keep doing the nut shit. It is what it is. This ain't about them. This is about you and what you're choosing to do, right? Hera is also here. Hera is what you need in a bond to remain in it. Again, this is in the fourth house, so it deals with home and family. A lot of you guys speaking up about different situations in the home and family and nurturing spaces, and really paying attention to the things that you need in those spaces in order to keep moving forward, which is very important here. Gold is also here. So as we come into this enforcement of spaces, of course, the abundance comes in return. Hygeia is actually at 1 degree. So when we first walk into the Aries energy, you're greeted by Hygeia, which is basically giving you the blueprint. Like, all right, this is how it's set up. This is how you prevent things. Hygeia is like the Virgo asteroid. Like, they here with a preventative plan. They plan this joint out. You know, these are the placements. This is how you need to maneuver. You need nurturing. You need to tap into your Akashic records, because all these fourth houses is in Pisces energy. So home and family, pay attention to the Akashic records. Some of these people is hidden enemies. Some of these people is hidden friends. Some of these people are hidden alliances. Some of these people are just lessons you keep getting in every life, because you still not getting how you're supposed to move in confidence and courageousness with your solar plexus. You're still not getting how you're supposed to, like, not get your lick back and still stand firm in your boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all still not getting it. Aries is also here, which is the primordial feminine energy as well, and that's in the fifth house. So the fifth house is in creativity and expression. Fifth house deals with that Leo energy. It's that heart chakra space. I like Astros too. I like Astros because, like, where you have like the big celestial planets, they give you a big overview, but the asteroids give you like more detail. Like, oh, Venus deals with love. Well, Amor deals with this kind of love, and Daphne deals with that kind of love, and Hera deals with that kind of love, and Aphrodite deals. It's like gives you the different facets of Venus, and then you have the different facets of Virgo. Of Mercury, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I do love Astros. It does give you the details. Hello. Yes, welcome to me over here. Kaya Donis. The fifth house is also in Aries. So, a lot of you guys speaking your heart into existence. The things that you want, the things that you desire, the things that you deserve is essential here. Speak with all that might and all that heart. Also enforcing the law. A lot of you guys got to go back to your inner child. We be getting into your inner child. We healing here. Because Chiron is also here in Aries, so heal that fifth house inner child energy, new beginnings. They deserve it. Finding balance on how they manifest into this realm and how you manifest, and hope that both of you guys are manifesting from a healed place. It's also important. Now, while that's going on the inside, what's going on the outside is Scorpio energy. So Scorpio energy is here creating transformations in your solar plexus chakra, while the gut is controlling the mind. So what are we transforming? We have Adonis here. Welcome, Adonis and Adonis. We have jobs here, which is pretty self-explanatory, like different jobs that jobs are having transformation here. And I was thinking about that earlier too, because I was like, as we watch what's happening with these different people on the screens, you got to know that there's going to be a transformation and a manipulation, and who has control over the jobs, what kind of jobs are going to be here, and the companies and stuff. So it's by design that a lot of jobs are going to get cut. A lot of companies are going to seek transformation. A lot of people selling their companies, a lot of people buying companies. A lot of stuff closing down. A lot of people be losing jobs at first, but know that it's like a reset that's happening here. So you have to learn how to flow and be a part of the flow. Jobs is in the 12th house, it's the Pisces house. So again, this is bigger than you. This is the Akashic record. Things happening here. This transformation is necessary. The 12th house is in Scorpio, right? That Pisces house is in Scorpio. So it's even transformations. It's even transformations happening to our Akashic contracts right now. People's contracts that they had for many, many lives is undergoing transformation and revelation right now. That's crazy. That's a big deal. Adonis is also here. Adonis deals with soulmates, and the soulmates in your community. That 11th house, that's what is that? That's Aquarius house. I couldn't think for a second. The 11th house is Aquarius house, and then the Libra scales is in the Aquarius house. So finding balance and justice in those Aquarian placements and those relationships and stuff. And then like your soulmate, finding your soulmates in these spaces. So soulmate isn't always like the romantic pursuit. Soulmate is literally a soulmate. Like our hearts are connected. Our frequency is one. It's not always someone that like underneath the romance or the romance department. You know, a lot of you guys are finding your community with, you know, how following your frequency, following your heart, and, you know, it's cool. It's important. Peace, peace. Welcome. Narcissist is also here. That's that equal opposite energy. And that's why it's important to keep your heart light as a feather, because it snakes in all grass. So as you're navigating through these spaces, you know, narcissists are also, you know, they secrets and they stuff is coming out to the forefront, you know, because Scorpio also be telling everybody business. Scorpio is the revealer, the revelation energy. It shows what's going on. It, you know, transforms people's thrones. It takes power and gives power. Again, we in the year 8, which is the year of transformation. This is the Scorpius year. So the narcissist that's been going on, whether they on these screens that we watching in our personal lives or whatever, they're undergoing their own transformations, and it's coming from their experiences in society. And society is calling on them to balance scales. You're gonna have to act right. You're gonna have to fix that heart. Again, if you were part of that 11th house Libra and you come across the narcissist energy, remember, you are not here to mirror dusty energy. You're not here to be karma. Find a mantra in that, repeat it in your head when you feel tempted. Yeah, I feel you on the tired thing. But I wanted to push through on this because, you know, it's a Wednesday. I wanted to make sure y'all got this. Your Chiron and Pluto are conjunct your second house. Oh yes. So yeah, your Libra scales, your heart, interpersonal relationships, transmuting those wounds into strengths in those interpersonal relationship bonds and contracts. And I know you know what I mean with them bonds and contracts, and also transformations. Transformations also bring empowerment, you know, to get rid of things to make room for a new, right? Omega is also another asteroid. Omega deals with how we flow in nature. And so a transformation is happening there too, which is like beyond past due. So you're going to see like, you know, big natural, I won't call them disasters because I don't see them as disasters. It's like big natural rehabilitation situations happening. But that's to rebalance the scales. You know, a lot of us people have been building on this land and, you know, really like invading the soil and invading the space, invading the air and the water and stuff. And so, you know, Scorpio, which deals with storms and water and things like that, that equal opposite energy is going to come back. You're going to see a lot of things get washed away. You're going to see a lot of things fall into the water. We're seeing a bridge fall into the water. We're going to see more buildings fall into water. You know, again, get out the way. Or get in the way and be a casualty. It's up to you. I'm getting out the way though. Yeah, the tiredness has been wild. But that is the solar plexus. So now we're in the heart chakra. Yay, we're getting there. So heart chakra is ruled by Venus. This is where you get your self-esteem, your love, wealth, wisdom, compassion, empathy, forgiveness, you know, priorities, you know, love of self, other people on different levels. Venus right now is in Pisces. Again, a lot of things in Pisces. And then we're going to have the divine alignment of Aries, and we'll get into that momentarily. But we talked about Venus being in Pisces in the 4th house. You know, our heart chakra is in a space where, like, everything is in alignment with the Akashic records right now. Everything is in alignment with everything that's hidden underneath the horizon and revealing those things for us. That's why, like, it's like I was on a podcast earlier today, and it just kept and a guy, one of the guys was talking, he was like, these are all distractions. And it's like, it's not all distractions. There's a lot of shit happening at once. And we really, like, people, there's not enough time. There's not enough time for me to sit here and talk to you about everything that's happening in the planet. There's not enough time. I don't have enough time. It's just here and talks to you about everything. I say it's so many aspects, and then you get into the degrees and longitude and the latitude, and already at dichotomy, and what it's so much. And then we get into the asteroids. You know how many asteroids there are? You don't. Neither do I. There's not enough time. But guess what? They're all happening at once. And as above, so is below. As within, so is without. There's so much shit happening at once on your body alone. Whether you talk about the energy things happening on your body, the stuff happening inside of your body on a consistent, persistent basis, the little beings and bodies that live on your body and the different things they're going through. It's an infinite amount of shit happening on your body alone, all at once. So if they're knowing about a bunch of stories on the news and stuff at once is not a distraction. If they were to tell you everything that was happening, you'd be sitting forever watching the news. Like, there's so much shit happening at one time. There's nothing that's a distraction. It's more so like you pick and choose what you're willing to give your energy to pay attention to, and then you choose what you don't. Some of you guys don't choose to pay attention to anything, and that's actually okay. Some of you guys try your best to pay attention to everything, and if that works for you, that is also okay. But nothing is distracting you from anything unless you allow it to be a distraction. There's a lot of things happening right now. Venus to Pisces to the fourth house, a lot of things happening right now. To have four chakras all in Pisces and it's all dealing with our Akashic records. Do you know how many lives you lived on this earth? How many times you've been recycled? Have you gotten into that in your journey yet? And then you got to think about all the beings that live on you and in you and live like throughout these lives with you. You weren't born alone. You're not going to die alone. It's no such thing. It's like an astronomically physically impossible to be born and die alone. You weren't in the womb by yourself. You were in the womb fighting for your life for mad long with bacteria and different things in there that wanted to eat you. It was certain things that wanted to grow on top of you and be parasitic. Like, you was in there doing a lot of things you had to do before you can get out, and you had a lot of support in there to do it, and you had a lot of support out here, the people speaking life into you. It was some people that probably didn't like your mom or your dad, so they said fuck that baby too. But there was a lot of people out here speaking life into you. It was people looking at ultrasounds, waiting for your arrival, saying nice things. Like, you're never alone. and hopefully that Venus and Pisces show you that you're never alone. I know the deep waters can feel lonely, but even in that space, you're not alone. You are convincing yourself you're alone. And so hopefully that Saturn and Pisces can like open that up for you and reveal some things to you that, yeah, that's not true, brother. Okay, so Jupiter and Uranus are also here in Taurus energy, which is really dope because Jupiter deals with, expansion and doing things different and optimism. Uranus deals with the push that makes you change the way you do things. So both of these placements being in Taurus, they are really pushing your heart chakra. Taurus energy deals with your materialistic side, your eye of beauty, your pinnacles, your priorities, how you value yourself. And these things have really been getting pushed, right? A lot of us lost a lot of materials, especially, the past 4 years or whatever, with the different things going on in society. Soon as Uranus entered Taurus energy in March 2019. By the end of April 2019, we were in quarantine. People were getting married. People were having babies. People were learning how to make money virtually. We had a whole bunch of different cryptocurrencies being made. Bills were getting cut off. PPP loans and all that. That was all Uranus and Taurus creating that big ass push we needed to do the Taurian energy different, and we did. And so Taurus energy is still here for like another year or so. And so I predict that when Uranus enters Gemini, communication is going to be more telepathic. Whether you go the AI route or the spiritual route, it doesn't matter. The effects will still be the same. Also, getting communication from outer spaces, more so, whatever that looks like to you, whether you believe in the beyond the ice wall or the things that NASA says. I don't, I'm sitting back and I'm flowing with the ride. I want to see what comes out of these things. But yeah, communication and community is going to be in for a big bang when Uranus enters Gemini in 2026. That'll just be on the tropical chart. On the Vedic chart, it'll still be in Taurus. It'll be actually just entering Taurus on the Vedic chart because it's not even in Taurus yet. It's not even going to be in Taurus until Uranus is at 24 degrees in Taurus on the tropical. Eros is also here, as well as Valentine, which deals with love and relationships and what you're willing to do to be in love. And that's in the sex house. So a lot of you guys moving in the space of moral and ethical code. When y'all invoke the person y'all want to be with, y'all really looking at the soul and, you know, where their code is and where their Maya is. And that's beautiful. We really want to be with somebody on the same frequency rather than the shallow things and all the things. And that's what the sixth house. Now, because these placements are in Taurus, I don't know, you probably could fall back into the materialistic side of things, but you know, pay attention to how Mercury is retrograding for you, because the sixth house is also associated with Mercury. Opportunity, of course, is always here in Taurus. We love opportunity in Taurus. We started the month off with that, and it started off at a 20 degrees, so it was like finding balance in our cipher, you know, our wisdom in our cipher with the opportunities. So like we're like interpreting opportunities different. Like who owns this company? What's their moral code? What are they doing? What are their values? How do they prioritize things and stuff like that? That's the sixth house that opportunity is in. And also giving you the space to know that, you know, Mercury is retrograding in Taurian placements with these spaces being in the sixth house. Lucifer is an asteroid. Lucifer is also here, giving us our ability to woo other people, and that's fun. And it's in the fifth house of creativity and expression. And I think that has a lot to do with Hollywood and them undergoing the different transformations that they're going. And I had spoke on that a little bit with Saturn being in Pisces, and I believe karma. Karma is over here in Taurus as well. In fact, we kick off Taurus with that 1 degree karma energy, which is pretty dope. So karma pretty much sets the blueprint. Whatever you're doing with the rest of these, it's going to come back to you. Please tap into your heart and make sure your frequency is pumping right. Karma is in the fifth house, so karma is really paying attention to your heart. So you can do all the right things, but if your heart ain't in the right place when you're doing all the things, then it doesn't matter. The eclipse season is intense. It is intense, and we have a lot of placements that's happening during the intensity of the eclipse as well. I was just getting into how many asteroids there are. You can pull up on AstroSeek. Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot, an overwhelming lot. And that's not even all of them, because I have another website that shows like 100 and something asteroids. And I'm like, brother, breathe, give me a second. But I like that AstroSeek has expanded with the asteroids. That's pretty dope. One of these days I'm going to do a live with you guys, and we could just go through the different asteroids that are on AstroSeek, because I do have notes on, you know, those energies, those electromagnetic energies, those asteroids are associated with that are on AstroSeek. Now what's going on? So that's going on in Taurus on the inside of your heart chakra. So what's going on in Libra is the air. You know, how are you balancing the scales based upon what's going on in the heart? Well, the banks, of course, are over here in the 10th house. Their success is reliant upon Virgo energy: health, wellness, moral, ethical code, routine, habit, right? Habits are important this month. Being persistent and consistent is important this month. Again, the bank is in the Libra scale, so justice in this area. Virgo deals with the moral integral code and is over the success. The bank will only be as successful as its moral integral code and its consistency in its routine. Maki Maki is also here in the same type time. Maki Maki deals with our alignment with nature, how we flow in nature, our experience in nature. Whereas like Omeya deals with like the feminine side of that, like Cancer. Maki Maki is more like the Leo side of that with the sun experiences. Again, how you flow in nature is based upon your moral and integral code and routine. You out here abusing nature, guess what? It's not going to do well for you. Rockefeller is also here. That to me deals a lot with these people on these screens. Same energy. In fact, Rockefeller starts at the 1 degree. Rockefeller starts tone in the Libra scales with the bonds and contracts. And that's why they're on the forefront of like everything right now. And no, it's not a distraction. There's a lot of things happening at once. That's how we're entering the Libra. We're entering the Libra scale with these corporations dealing with their moral and integral code. Where has it been? And watch, it's going to trickle down. You got Maki, which is nature thereafter. And then at the 13 degree, you got banks. And we talked about all the other placements on Taurus side. We even talked about the placements down there in the sacral chakra. We're starting off the energy. We're there in Taurus to start off in karma before you get to Lucifer and opportunity and setting. We already setting off the tone. It's going to start off with the people on the screens, but it's going to lead to a whole lot more. Now we're in the throat chakra. It's a little lighter here. So Mercury rules the third chakra. This is how we communicate, how we invoke our integral moral code, our health, wellness, daily routine. Excuse me. And that energy is in our solar plexus chakra. You have to have confidence and courageousness to implement these things. And we're doing it with the vibration of our heart, that fifth house energy. Ashe. I'm telling y'all, and I told y'all this past planetary forecast and some hump day readings, especially on the New Year's. On the New Year's, I did an episode on Planetary Starseed, which is where you guys will find me next Wednesday. So every other Wednesday, I'm on Planetary Starseed doing the hump day reading. And then the Wednesdays that are in alignment with this Wednesday, I'm here doing the hump day readings. And I always come back to the charts when I do the hump day readings with y'all. So we'll go over more of this again later and expound more. But anyway, when the New Year started on March 20th, excuse me, it was a lot of placements that were showing us equal opposite energy, whether it was in Cancer, Pisces, or fifth house. The whole gist is this year is all about your heart chakra. Pay attention to your heart chakra. Your heart chakra is so important. And not just on a non-physical level, but on a physical level too. Heart health is important here. If you don't exercise, you're not working on your cardio, you're not eating right, you playing around with cholesterol concepts and all that stuff, don't do that no more. Your heart health is so important this year. The New Year set it up. We're seeing it before our eyes. We see how the Taurian placements is being treated. You keep your hand clutched and you hold on to material things, it will be yanked out of your arms. Open your hands, open your arms, and flow. Watch your hearts, y'all. On the Gemini side of things, we have Industria here. So Gemini deals with communication. The industrial energy is undergoing the seventh house. That's Libra. That's the Libra scales. Are the scales even in the industrial? No, it's not. 22 is the master architect number. 4 or 5 balance on that heart, right? 5 is the heart. It's Leo, right? 4 or 5 come together and make 9. That's humanitarian energy. You got 22 and 9 here. Master architect of humanitarian energy. When in the industries are in alignment with humanitarianism and which ones are not. The Libra scales is flowing and it's going towards our community. Whoever's not giving back to the community with their businesses, guess what? You got to go. It's in the stars. And eventually you're going to see it in the numbers as well. By the end of this month, industrial will be in Cancer. So as we are experiencing, as we're seeing the things happen, eventually it'll be embedded in our subconscious as a collective that we just don't fuck with certain companies. We just not fucking with certain people. I'm telling you, a lot more information is going to come out by the end of April. It's going to be so much shit y'all just not going to want to deal with no more. So then on the masculine side, we got Virgo over there. Excuse me. Virgo deals with the routines of things. right? While Gemini deals with the community, Virgo deals more so with self. So Virgo has a lot of placements in alignment with like income. So you have silver over here, you have money over here, and bounty. So these are all energies of abundance and return. Whatever that may like look like to you, if you do Bitcoin or Federal Reserve note, it's your world. These spaces are in retrograde, so there's a halt in these spaces, and that's because we're dealing with the transformation down there and like opportunity and business and stuff like that down there. And then we're also dealing with the industrial in the seventh house. So because a lot of these different placements are undergoing transformation, it's going to be a hold up on our end because they have to reset the righteousness, right? They have to rebalance the scales. That is going to affect your income. Like I said, jobs are going to get cut, businesses are going to get cut, people are going to step down. It's going to change a lot of things. You got to flow and trust. You got to trust the universe more so than you trust the man-made things. So that's why these placements are in retrograde. Juno is also here. Juno deals with I don't know why I want to say the same thing I said for college, but I know that's not true. I got Juno somewhere. Hold on a second. Oh, Juno is like Hera. This is the love of your life that's worth the wait, which is also in retrograde in the ninth house as we deal with that sacral chakra energy. So let's go back down and say Sagittarius real quick. So all these placements over here, the palace, genius like qualities, you overlooking yourself, Lilith, that part of yourself you keep repressing in other people, and you're repressing yourself, destined. These are all in retrograde. So these gotta go prograde. It's like you're flipping the reverse tarot card in yourself. Talent and Prometheus are also here. So those placements are getting in order in the first house, which is our overall temperament, right? That's how the gateway between the crown chakra and then the next dimension of self, which is the non-physical self. All those things got to be made in alignment for us to receive over here in the silver, money, bounty, and Juno, as well as Lilith being Virgo as well. We actually have two Liliths. My apologies. I should have. Okay, so one Lilith is actually an asteroid, while the other one is a the path. Okay, so when the moon is furthest from the sun, it gets dark. That point is Lilith. So we have two Liliths. My apologies. One is in Virgo, which is the actual point of the moon, and the asteroid of Lilith is in Sagittarius. I did not establish that when I first spoke. My apologies, y'all. Yeah, marriage and loyalty. So Juno is like Hera type energy. Oh Lord. Oh yeah, you got a lot of ops in the Virgo Pisces placements. Yes. So it's a lot of like static energy in your space. You just gotta put your hands up and flow and understand that a lot of the resistance is because there's a lot of things in your space that have to be moved around in order for you to receive them. In order for you to receive what you need to receive, certain other pieces got to be moved. So it does cause a retrograde in your space, but it's gonna come out. Also, Pluto square Pluto. Oh, that's interesting too. So that's your challenges come in that transformation as a transformation. So like when the transit is giving us the experiences of transformations in our root chakra, that's a big challenge for you as well. Among many other transits, my chart is currently lit up like a damn pinball machine. Yes, my chart is pretty lit up too. I have a very condensed chart. I got a lot of majority of my placements are in Virgo and Capricorn, and then I got like a couple spread out to Leo and Gemini, and my Pluto's in Scorpio. So having my placements like how they are with Aries about to be where it's at, and then the Aries is also Pisces energy. It's definitely a lot of opposition energy in my space. But it is calling for me to have new beginnings, and I've been feeling that. I've been wanting to just flip tables and just not out of anger. It's just like I just want different. I want different in all facets of my life. I just like I'm like my soul, my gut is like we need different tomorrow. But I have to move in patience because moving too fast not going to give me what I want. And last but certainly not least, we come to the third eye, y'all. So we start off the month. We talked about the sun being in Aries and the moon being in Sag. So we had a fire sun and a fire moon starting off the month. And at the end of the month, we're going to end off with the sun being in fixed Earth and the moon being in cardinal Earth. So we start with fire and we end with the Earth. That's a nice alignment. We start off with motivation and fire under our butt to get us going with our solar plexus chakra and our sacral chakra, our enforcement and our joy. And that's cool because that should help you find a balance and discipline in that sacral chakra energy too. And then in the month in that space of what did you build? What are you making before we enter the month of 5, which deals with communication, community, and heart chakra energy. So when we get into the feminine side of the third eye, we're dealing with Cancer energy. I don't know my degree off the top of my head. I gotta like have my chart in front of me. We start off with Vesta at a 0 degree in Cancer. So Vesta deals with our passion. I don't know if y'all know about the Vestral fires, but you know, you have the virgins that be around the Vestral fire. They dedicated their life to keeping the fire alive. You know, this is like what gets your Vestral fire burning. On a psychological standpoint, it's like there's certain neurons that go off in your brain when you're engaging in sexual activity. When you're engaging in this similar activity, the same neurons go off in your brain. So it's like a passion, like a deep passion. That's what Vesta represents, and Vesta is in Cancer. So it's that a depth of being, learning about yourself, healing yourself, nourishing yourself. That is becoming a deep passion. You just want to heal. You want different. You're missing alignment with the Libra scale, that 7th house in Gemini, your community, communication, and vocation, right? So really having that passion to want that balance and justice and harmony in your community and your family, very important. You want to hear it. And it's a download through your third eye. You know, you want that healing. You want that togetherness. And then we come into Medusa energy. And, you know, my eyes are starting to cross. So I'm grateful that we old. But my bad, y'all. I know Medusa. She actually went through mad shit. Medusa's kind of like your endurance of things. I know that part off the top of my head, but I cannot find her name right now to get into the detail of it. So if somebody in the chat want to help me out, that's cool. I want to know the assistance. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do like a John where like I really go through my notes with y'all with the Astro John because that helps me as well to like memorize. I like memorize my notes and stuff. But yeah, the endurance is here. So it's like, you know, from the rip, you're gonna go through some teams. And oh, I also want to go through, all right, I'm gonna do that too. Okay. Yeah, that's basically what I said. Being punished for something that isn't truly your fault. But then it's also a sign of beauty too, because she endured everything that she endured because she was so beautiful. I was asking because you would also be having Pluto. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. I feel it. The Pluto square Pluto transit. Oh, oh, it's 12 o'clock over there. It's 2 o'clock over here. Cool. Whose name were you trying to remember? It was Medusa, but I got it though. It was like where you're being punished for something that isn't truly your fault in the space of beauty and stuff, chaotic experiences. Yeah. So that's in that seventh house of Gemini. Um, Nemesis is retribution in the eighth house. Achilles is the weakness energy in the eighth house, and Cancer. So that third eye energy. So a lot of this stuff is bigger than us. Again, coming to that energy of it's up to me. I gotta raise money. I gotta get an army. I gotta train and no, you don't. That's not for you. And then Apollo is here. Apollo deals with art, theater, and dancing, transformations in that area on Cancer, and in the midst of all this going on. So then I get again kind of like comes back to the things that you see on the screens and stuff like that. First thing that came in my head was like Quiet on the Set, that documentary, whatever there, deals with that as well. So transformation is happening in our intuitive space, nurturing. I'm trying to tell y'all, by the end of this month, it's going to be a lot of people, place, things that y'all just not going to rock with no more because y'all going to have so much knowledge um, on them. Because as we enter the age of Aquarius, with Pluto being in Aquarius right now, is revealing a lot of the different things that's going on. So by the time the end of this month, it's going to be so much revealed. It's going to be a lot of things you're just not going to want to deal with. There's gonna be a lot of businesses you're not going to invest in. It's gonna be so easy. It's gonna be difficult because you've gotten accustomed to relying on them. But at some point in time, your ability to even rely on those companies is not going to exist anymore either. Because yeah, her story is super sad because a lot of those businesses are going to be shut down as people step down from positions and stuff like that. And that's just going on the inside of the third eye. Again, coming back to the fact that a lot of this stuff is bigger than us. And then on the masculine side, our actual experiences, this is when we're dealing with Oda Mila Leo energy. We have Cleopatra here. I think we got both the Cleopatras here too, don't we? The one with the C, and then there's one with a K too, which is interesting. See, this is why you'll never be done studying yourself, because these asteroids is wild. These asteroids is wild. And there's so many. So this is where we see ourselves as gods and goddesses here in this room, and it's in retrograde. So gotta slow down a little bit for other people to catch up. Well, I need to do that. Then union and lust is also here in the eighth house of transformation on Cancer. So again, it's coming back to a lot of people, little nasties. And then a lot of y'all becoming some celibate and y'all don't even want to give yourselves up too much anyway. So that's good. Transformations on the unions and transformations on lust. Let it be more nurturing. People want more like deeper connections. You know what I'm saying? I know I got that one written down because I see it in my head. Varuna is the fame and success, how you could receive fame, money, and wealth. And guess what? Also enduring an eighth house of transformation. And we started the month with it at a 6 degree 46. So 646. You got a 4 in between two sixes. Finding balance on that Virgo energy, health, wellness, daily routine, and vocation, moral, and ethical code. It's establishing a new moral and ethical code in between this, how people are obtaining this success and this fame. All right. That has to undergo transformation first, y'all. Then Hecate, she's the goddess of the crossroads. That's communicating on the other side, oracle and wisdom, finding balance in that realm. that came back to what I was telling y'all about earlier. A lot of people are being unalived mummy style, so that because they know that energy cannot be created or destroyed. A lot of these people are well versed with the Book of the Dead, so they're doing the things. It's like there was a period of time where we were looking at certain celebrity photos and we're like, oh my gosh, they look like people from these sepia photos or just black and white photos, or they look like some of these like ancient paintings and stuff. Yeah, they had the Book of the Dead. They knew how to bury themselves and recycle their energy into a new body intentionally. And they still do. They still do those things. So some of these people being unalive just with that intention, they have incompleted their their contract here, so they get to come back in that same energy and do it again. And I don't know why they would want to keep coming back here to do it again, to come to the same fate, but I guess they were having a lot of fun on the way there. I don't know. It's not that much fun in the world. The universe is calling for them to have some level of balance, right? The universe is called because they got the 2-4 there, right? And then you got 0, which is cipher, 9, humanitarian pursuits. So the universe is calling for them to have some type of balance and stuff like that. So maybe in the afterlife, when they think they're getting away with it because they're not in this physical body, they might still get disrupted. And that's maybe with that 10 dancing angel. The dancing angel coming here to break the motherfucking ankles, bro. Oh, you thought you was gonna go to the other side and shit was gonna be sweet, huh? You thought it was gonna be cool, huh? It's not okay. So you have that over there. Now Imhotep is also here, which is the knowledge of astrological and herbal remedies. Knowing the combo of and I just got this herbal astro deck, which is really cool. Tomorrow while I'm at the store, I probably will go live just to pull some cards and show you guys the combo of herbs with astrology. It's a very divine connection and it should be known. It's effective for our individual makeup, mystic asteroids, your potential to become a scribe, mystic, or astrologer. All of that is in our space of experiences with this Odu. And then Bella, of course, is self-explanatory. But we are becoming masters of what we see as beauty as we experience transformations on what is beauty, because a lot of that is coming more towards the spiritual side of things. And we love going more towards the spiritual side of things, right? It just makes everything make more sense, We're viewing beauty different, It's more about what's on the inside. I ain't gonna hold you. Like somebody will be so good looking to me until they do something so weird, and then they just get so weird looking to me, and it's like, ooh, is your face always like that? It's wild. I don't know what I was looking at this entire time. And Diana is the satisfactory of basic needs, self-reliance, your hunter-gatherer energy, and how you express your independence. And that is also undergoing transformations. And we have that at a 605, which is your wealth and daily routine. 6 is the number of Virgo. So if you notice, there's a lot of 6s up here in our Leo energy. It's calling us pay attention to Virgo. What is Virgo? Mercury. Mercury is in retrograde. So a lot of this energy is being repeated to us. Mercury is going retrograde in Aries, Pisces energy, which is our Akashic records and our ambition and motivation towards that. It's all like a nice full circle here, y'all, if y'all really pay attention to it. And then there's so many other details to this. It does get kind of overwhelming. So as we get all of this in order as a collective, it goes to our crown chakra, and our crown chakra takes it to the next level of the intangibles, and we love it there. And so let's talk about the astrological report for the next 30 days. Is y'all ready? I'm about to skim through these because I go through them pretty fast because I do the daily mathematics anyway. Oh, and for those of you guys, this are the lunar mansions. This is also something that I want to cover this month. So every year, I've been doing the planetary forecast for like 5-6 years now. Every year, during Astronomy Month, I like to give you guys extra information during some of my random pop-up lives. So we definitely will be getting into the nakshatras and the mansions, y'all. We just experienced the equinox. Yay, to the spring equinox. And this is a further explanation of the spring equinox and what it looks like from Earth to Sun. How we're Earth is kind of like in full phase and, in relation to other planets. And we are moving ourselves towards aphelion, which is the furthest point from the sun, which is actually pretty interesting because it's summertime. So I got questions. Anyway, let's talk about it. April 1st. We had a 60% wanting gibbous moon, the moon in Capricorn on the tropical scale, Sagittarius Vedic, Sagittarius in the constellation. Ceres and Albalda were in conjunction in the Sagittarius constellation. Albalda is the star located in the back of his head, bringing the harvest and gains. Max declination of the moon happened. Moon calls. Oh, excuse me. I think I said the wrong star. Hold on. That's why I should have said my book. My big handy dandy notebook. Yes, I was right. Cause Borealis is also a star in the Sagittarius constellation. This brings on ambition and power. It actually has the energy of Jupiter and Mars, and Moon and that star was in conjunction and minimal angle. Then Mercury was stationary at 12:34 p.m. before it began its retrograde motion. The last quarter moon was at 11:15 p.m. The Sombrero Galaxy in Virgo constellation was at midnight. Was at midheaven at midnight. April 2nd, we were at a 50% last quarter moon, being in tropical Cap, Vedic Sag, constellation Sag. The moon and Albalda were in conjunction, and now the moon is at the space of harvest and gains on the 2nd. And the north pole of the moon was also tipped into view. April 3rd was a 38% one in crescent moon and tropical Cat, Vedic Cat, Sag constellation. The moon and Pluto were in conjunction at 6:13 a.m., minimal angle at 5:06 a.m. The Venus and Neptune were in conjunction at 6:46 a.m., and then minimal angle at 9:03 a.m. Again, that is the heart chakra and sacral chakra being at minimal angle in conjunction. And then there was a kite in the chart, and we talked about that at the beginning of this planetary forecast. April 4th, which is today, we start the day off at a 27% one in crescent moon, the moon rising at 4:32 a.m. and setting at 2:28 p.m. in Aquarius zodiac, Capricorn on a Vedic and Capricorn constellation. Pallas is stationary at 12:07 a.m. and begins retrograde motion in Hercules constellation. So Pallas is currently in retrograde now officially. The sun rises at 6:37 a.m. and setting at 7:27 p.m. Pallas is the asteroid that represents the genius-like qualities that you overlook in yourself. So it's retrograding. So some of you guys got to come back into what it is that you're good at. Stop overlooking it. AM visibility of Saturn begins today. The alignment of Venus, Neptune, Saturn, and Mars is occurring today. So for all my star casters and my spell casters, you can find that divine alignment. M94 in Canis Venatici constellation is at midheaven around midnight. This is the spiral galaxy. The Kappa Crucius cluster, which is a jewel box cluster, is at midheaven. This is coming from the Crux constellation. So we're still talking about the Crucifix constellation, which we've been talking about since last week, leading up to Ishtar. And then Eros asteroid enters the Taurus constellation at 12:51 p.m. today. On April 5th, we start the day off at a 17% waxing crescent moon in the tropical Aquarius, Vedic Aquarius, Capricorn constellation. Moon and Deneb Algeldi are in conjunction at 8:15 p.m. and then minimal angle at 5:20 a.m. And Deneb Algeldi is located at the tail of the goat in the Capricorn constellation, which brings happiness, dignified, pious, and conservative. April 6th, we start the day off with a 9% waning crescent moon in the Pisces tropical, Aquarius Vedic, Aquarius constellation. The moon and Mars will be in conjunction at 11:34 p.m., minimal angle at 12:45 a.m. And we'll be able to observe that at 5:45 a.m. So you have your intuitive home and family, feminine energy in alignment with your solar plexus. Downloads for the solar plexus. The moon and Saturn will also be at minimal angle at 5:42 a.m., conjunction at 4:03 a.m. So you kind of got a triangle there between the moon, Mars, and Saturn, which is your third eye, with your solar plexus chakra and your root chakra. That's a fun time there. Getting downloads for how to enforce what you need in your root chakra. The moon will be at perihelion, which is the closest point to the sun at 10 a.m. And also the sun will be entering the draconic Aries on 12:59 p.m. Excuse me. See? That's how you know it's time for bed. Cause my eyes is crossing red. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, April 7th, 4% waning crescent moon in the Pisces tropical, Pisces Vedic, and Pisces constellation. The moon and Neptune will be in conjunction at 3:07 a.m. A minimal angle at 3:51 a.m. The moon and Venus will be in conjunction at 1:01 p.m. and at 1:11 p.m. being at minimal angle. The moon will also be the smallest distance to the Earth at 1:14 p.m. and the evening visibility at Palace begins. And I think that's really dope that April 7th is all about the moon because 7 is Yamoja, third eye energy. And it also deals with the Libra scale. So that's a good day for those numbers. And then the moon is all up in Pisces while it's having all of those, conjunctions. So lots of downloads happening on April 7th, the day before April 8th. Dun, dun, dun. So 1% waning crescent moon, that's at midnight. That's how we start off the day. The moon in Aries, tropical, Pisces, Vedic, Pisces constellation. Ceres will be at the best visibility of the year. The moon will be on ascending node at 8:03 a.m. It'll be at 0 latitude and increasing to go furthest from Earth. The total solar eclipse max activity will be at 2:17:44 p.m. over here where I'm at. I'm in Jersey, y'all. This is a super new moon, so the moon will be closest to the Earth in its orbit. The new moon is at 2:22 p.m. This is when the moon is between the sun and the Earth. No, it's not visible. The moon and Mercury will also be in conjunction at 10:19 p.m. The moon will be 2.6 degrees south. Minimal angle at 11:27 p.m. The moon will be 2.5 degrees south-southeast. The asteroid Herculina will be at opposition in the Boots constellation during the night and the highest point at midnight. So we know that we're going to have, this is the Herculina pathway during the month of April. This is the pathway of the Comet Pons Brooks during the month of April. As you can see, it crosses through, it'll be close to Jupiter and Uranus. These are the different celestial events we have happening. And so on April 8th, we're actually going to have a nice alignment of the Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Venus all in Aries energy. And we talked about that heavily the last hump day reading too. And talked about it. And you probably will see me on another podcast over the weekend talking about that heavy again too. Also, Venus will be entering Aries on the draconic scale at 1:46 p.m. So a lot of transits happening between, like 1 p.m. and like 2. And that's fun. April 9th, 0% waxing crescent. We are in Aries on the tropical, Aries on the Vedic, and Pisces constellation. The AM visibility of Pisces begins, the PM visibility of the moon begins as well. So this should be the ending of Ramadan. April 10th, 2% waxing crescent moon. We are in tropical Taurus, Vedic Aries, Aries constellation. Mars and Saturn will be minimal angle at 4:31 p.m. The moon and Jupiter will be at minimal angle at 1:35 p.m. At the best visibility of Earthshine on the moon will happen just after dusk. Virgo will be opposite the sun at 8:41 p.m. The moon and Uranus will be at minimal angle at 7:41 p.m. The moon will be 3.1 degrees north-northwest, conjunction at 9:12 p.m. And then the moon and Pleiades will be at minimal angle at 11 a.m. At 8:11 a.m. I said that right. Conjunction at 7:27 a.m. And then Mercury will be entering the Pisces constellation at 1:14 p.m. So it seems like April 10th is a nice, very moony. Because you got the moon being in alignment with Jupiter, Uranus, and Pleiades all on that day. And then you have Mars and Saturn, which is the alignment of the solar and the root chakra. And then Mercury, our throat chakra, is retrograding back into the Pisces constellation on April 10th. So being able to invoke spiritual experiences, April 10th is a good day. 10 is a good number. Or 1-8, what is that? 13. That's a karmic number for stability, determination, materialization. Watch what come out y'all throat on that day. April 11th, 7% waxing crescent moon, tropical Taurus, Vedic Aries, Taurus constellation. Mars and Saturn will be in conjunction. Mercury will be at inferior conjunction, which means between the Earth and Sun at 6:56 p.m. The moon and Aldebaran will be in conjunction at 4:13 a.m. Aldebaran is a star in Taurus. This is located at the eye of Taurus. This is the energy of honor, intelligence, and courage. Okay. Eros, the asteroid, will be entering the Gemini zodiac at 1:18 p.m. April 12th, 14% waxing crescent moon, and tropical Gemini, Vedic Taurus, Taurus constellation. Spica will be opposite the sun at 6:27 a.m., which is the best visibility of the year. Evening visibility of Libra, and then Mars will be entering draconic Pisces. April 13th, 22% waxing crescent moon, in Gemini tropical, Vedic Taurus, Taurus constellation. East side of the moon, which is Mercurium, will be tipped in view at 11:36 a.m. The max north declination of the moon is at 6:29 p.m. Omega Centauri will be at the highest point in the sky around midnight in Taurus constellation, Centaurus A, and Centaurus constellation at highest point in the sky at midnight. And then April 14th, 32% waxing crescent moon. Tropical Cancer, Vedic Gemini, Gemini constellation. The moon and Teja posterior in conjunction at 12:21 a.m. Minimal angle at 1:37 a.m. Teja posterior is a star in the Gemini constellation, is located at the back foot of the Gemini twin. This gives off the energy of Mercury and Venus, force energy protection. All right, good health. On journey, good journeys too. The south pole of the moon is tipped into view at 6:34 p.m. The solar time minus the mean solar time, which also means the sundial watch time, is 0. So the sundials show correct time that day, or in my words, the time finally shows the correct time that day. Aries will be at solar conjunction at 10:41 a.m. This is the most distance from Earth as well. Excuse me. Whirlpool Galaxy M51 and Canis Venatici will be at highest point in the sky around midnight, and then the sun enters Aries constellation. So now we are finally in Aries on the Vedic chart on April 14th at 1:30 p.m. April 15th, 43% waxing crescent moon. We are going in Cancer on the tropic, Vedic Gemini, Gemini constellation. Then we'll come back into the AM visibility of the moon, start seeing the moon in the daytime. It's fun there. The moon and Pollux will be at minimal angle at 8:45 a.m. Conjunction at 9:04 a.m. The moon and Castor will be at minimal angle at 3:32 a.m. Conjunction at 5:33 a.m. Pollux and Castor are the Gemini twins. Mercury will be the smallest distance to the Earth at 3:16 a.m. The first quarter moon will be at 3:14 p.m., which is the moon will be best visible after sunset. Beginning activity of the pipe puppets from the Puppets constellation will begin on April 15th as well. In the southern pinwheel galaxy M83, Spiral Galaxy, and Hydra constellation will be at heaven at midnight. April 16th, 54% waxing gibbous moon, Leo tropical, Cancer Vedic, Cancer constellation. The moon in Persephone will be at minimal angle at 10:46 a.m. The moon will be 3.1 degrees north, conjunction at 9:58 a.m. with the moon being 3.2 degrees north. Now, Persephone is a star in the Cancer constellation. Is located at the head of the crab and rules over your right eye. This gives off the energy of disease, disgrace, but also could be adventure and a little brutality. And it's kind of like the harshness of spirit of the ancestors. So if you want to tap into your mean ancestors, that's probably like a good day to do it. The activity of the Lyras begin. They move about 18 an hour, and they're between the Lyra and the Hercules constellation. You know, Lyra is the music instrument that enchants the stones and the flora. If I had a female child, she would have the name Orion. That's a good name for a girl. I like it. April 17th, 63% waxing gibbous moon, Leo tropical, Cancer Vedic, Cancer constellation. Juno will be stationary and begins its prograde motion at 6:58 a.m. Vesta and Teja posterior will be at minimal angle at 11:30 p.m. Vesta deals with passion, Teja posterior deals with force, energy, and protection. Globular cluster M3 and Canis Venatici will be in constellation at midnight, at midheaven at midnight. So you can find that cluster high in the sky. Saturn will be entering Draconic Pisces at 1:42 p.m. So Draconic deals with our soul's experience. So now your soul is going to be experiencing those challenges of the Akashic records. April 18th, 72% waxing gibbous moon. This will be in tropical Leo, Vedic Cancer, Leo constellation. Vesta and Teja Posterior. Teja Posterior is a famous star this month. You hear me? Um, that will be conjunction at 1:54 a.m. The moon in Regulus, which is the star in the Leo constellation, which brings on the riches, the glory, the power. That's happening at 9:07 a.m. and then conjunction at 7:48 a.m. And then Mercury and Venus will be in conjunction at 6:27 p.m. Mercury will be 2 degrees north. April 19th, 80% waxing gibbous moon. Tropical Virgo, Vedic Leo, Leo constellation. Mercury and Venus will be at minimal angle at 8:36 a.m. Activity of ETA Aquarius begin. They come from the Capricorn Aquarius constellation. Max activity is May 6th. They actually move at 70 hours. So that's a very heavy meteor shower. The moon will be the furthest distance to Earth at 10:42 p.m., which is called the apogee. It's called a perigee when it's the closest to Earth. April 20th, 420, 87% waxing gibbous moon, tropical Virgo, Vedic Leo, Leo constellation. Jupiter and Uranus will be in conjunction at 3:25 a.m., minimal angle at 10:54 p.m. 12P Pons Brooks will be the smallest distance to the sun at 11:10 p.m. and therefore also be at its brightest. And that's the comet. Large and comets, if you didn't know, they're like vacuums, and they have all the dust nuggets of the universe at the beginning of time. So bringing that ancient energy to our experience. Large alignment of Venus, Mercury, Neptune, Mars, Saturn is happening on 420 as well. So if you guys are going to be smoking, please be very intentional with what you smoke, how much you smoke. Make it a spiritual experience rather than, just overindulging with your sacral chakra that day. Almea will be opposite the sun at 8:42 p.m. in the Boots constellation, and then the sun will be entering this Taurus zodiac on the tropical chart at 1:54 p.m. April 21st, 93% waxing gibbous moon, Virgo on the tropic, Virgo on the Vedic, and Virgo constellation. The comet 12P Pons Brooks will reach max brightness at 5:41 a.m. The moon in Parima will be in conjunction at 8:31 p.m. Minimal angle at 5:27 p.m. The moon Parima is a star in the Virgo constellation. It's the star of prophecy. You're a Lyran. Oh, cool. That's dope. I haven't gotten into I always felt like a Mercurian. I got so much Mercury energy. And Mercury just seems like it has the best temperature for me. Howdy. Peace, love. April 22nd, 97% waxing gibbous moon. Tropical Virgo, Vedic Virgo, Libra constellation. The moon enters descending node at 6:46 a.m. It's geocentric elliptical at latitude 0 and decreasing. So it's going to start getting closer to us. The moon in Spica will be in conjunction at 8:48 p.m. Minimal angle at 10:35 p.m. Spica is also a star in the Virgo constellation. Spica is the brightest star in the Virgo constellation. And this is the energy of harvest and success and riches. Okay. The lyrics will reach their max activity at 18 an hour. They were observed, just some fun facts about the lyric meteor shower. They were first observed about 2,600 years ago, and they came from the comet C1861 G1 Thatcher. The Pinwheel Galaxy M101 is in Ursa Major at midheaven at midnight. April 23rd, we're at a 99% waxing gibbous moon. Libra tropical, Virgo Vedic, and Virgo constellation. Pluto will be the best visibility of the year. This is also the day of the full moon is on April 23rd. This is when the Earth is between the moon and the sun, and that's happening at 7:50 p.m. This is also the pink moon because the pink moth starts to grow in Northeast America. Eggs and fish moon because the eggs and fish start coming out. And this moon is actually going to last from that Monday to Thursday. Mercury will be stationary and begins its prograde motion at 10:41 p.m. So that's cool. Thanks, Moon and Mercury. April 24th, we're at a 100% waxing gibbous moon. Tropical Scorpio, Vedic Libra, Virgo constellation. The moon in Zubin al-Janubi will be at minimal angle at 3:44 p.m., conjunction at 5:26 p.m. Now, Zubin al-Janubi is a star in the Libra constellation. This hinders journeys and marriages. It's located at the southern scale or the southern skull, a claw, if you look at it in the realms of Scorpius constellation. And it gives off the energy of Saturn and Mars, which is very combative, challenging energy there with the moon. Where was I? The Pi Puppets reach max activity, and then Mars enters Pisces constellation at 2:10 p.m. That's on the Vedic chart. April 25th, 98% waning gibbous moon, tropical Scorpio, Vedic Libra, Libra constellation. Arcturus will be opposite the sun at 7:23 p.m. This is the best visibility of the year. And Arcturus is a star in the, I know I got that down, in the Boots constellation. It's the energy of Enlil. It's the watcher and guardian. It deals with dark aspects, riches, honor, and being liberal. It gives off the energy of Mars and Jupiter. Jupiter kind of makes Mars a little lighter, but it's very strategic and warrior-like energy, like the commander, if you will. Lyrics reach the end of activity. The moon in Graphius will be at minimal angle at 11:33 p.m. Graphius is a star in the Scorpius constellation. This one is the Mars and Saturn. It's a little harsh here. The moon will be at aphelion, which is the furthest point from the sun. And then Venus will be entering Aries constellation on the Vedic chart at 2:14 p.m. So that's a busy day on 2/5, finding balance and all that adventure. April 26th, 95% waning gibbous moon. Sagittarius on the tropical, Scorpio on the Vedic, Libra constellation. The moon in Dashuba will be at minimal angle at 12:07 a.m. The moon will be 2.5 degrees south-southwest, conjunction at 3:33 a.m. The moon in Graphias will be at conjunction at 6:42 a.m. The moon will be 5.9 degrees south. The moon in the Aries will be at conjunction at 3:45 p.m. and then minimal angle at 3:36 p.m. So the moon will be going through the Scorpius constellation on April 26th. This providing transformation to home and family and maternal energy. It's also my mama's birthday. And where am I at now? April 27th, 89% waning gibbous moon, Sagittarius on the tropical, Scorpio on the Vedic, Ophiuchus on the constellation. The west side of the moon, crater Grimaldi, will be tipped into view at 11:36 p.m. April 28th, 82% waning gibbous moon, Sagittarius on the tropical, Sagittarius on the Vedic, and Sagittarius on the constellation. The max south declination of the moon during current lunar cycle begins. The pi puppets reach the end of activity, and then Mars and Neptune are in conjunction at 11:55 p.m. Mars will be 2 degrees 17 latitude south. And then Pholus, which is that asteroid of extremities, will be entering our throat chakra, Gemini, at 2:25 p.m. on the tropical scale. So April 29th, the day of mastery, balancing our humanitarian pursuits. 73% waning gibbous moon, Capricorn on the tropical, Sagittarius on the Vedic, Sagittarius constellation. Mars and Neptune will have minimal angle at 12:30 a.m. No, it's not going to be visible. The moon in Cos Borealis will have minimal angle at 5 p.m., conjunction at 4:52 p.m. The moon in Albaldo will be in conjunction at 10:51 a.m., and the North Pole of the moon will be tipped into view at 9:05 a.m. Then last but certainly not least, we have April 30th, and we can get up out of here, past here. We have a 64% waning gibbous moon, Capricorn on the tropical, Sagittarius on the Vedic, Sagittarius constellation. The moon and Pluto are going to be conjunction at 2:44 p.m. Mercury will be the longest distance to the sun, which is aphelion. And then Venus enters the Taurus zodiac on the tropical chart at 2:33 p.m. So here on April 8th, we have the moons, and the moons be doing their little orbits around Jupiter. Oh, did you hear that? I guess it's NASA trying to talk to Europa now, and that's dope, I guess. And then this is what a super moon versus a micro moon looks like. We're gonna have a super new moon. We're not gonna be able to see it, but we're gonna feel it definitely. We already feel it. All these storms being pulled. The moon is very close. April 10th, this is what the sky is gonna look like and the different stars that we have in alignment here. The Pegasus. And then this is what it's gonna look like from the Lyrics, from the Lyra constellation. So you'll be able to, see those showers. And then Aries doing a thug dizzle when it makes its transit. Almea over here doing a thug dizzle as she makes her transit. And I thought that was a cool picture. Your Venus is conjunct Spica. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. The riches coming to you. You just gotta be patient and just flow. because you got a lot. You got like it's just some other things that got to move and play. And so this is what the star alignment is going to look like with Pluto. I think that's Mars and Saturn, Venus. Excuse me. And this is just the gist of Venus's orbit across our sky during the year. This, I'm sure everybody has seen many, many times. This is how the eclipse is flowing through, which is interesting because of how the sun and moon supposedly rises and falls. I guess we'll see when it gets here. And these are also some things I want to get into it with y'all this month for Astronomy Month. I know all the cycles of all the planets, but this is all on AstroSeek. You guys can know it too. I'll just read it to y'all so y'all can see. We can talk about it and all that fun stuff. But it's fun here. And that's what I got for you today for the planetary forecast. I hope y'all learned stuff with me and had a good time. It's always nice to, have a tribe here and you guys being so knowledgeable about the stars as well, giving me my feedback and stuff. We love it here. Y'all definitely will see me in the weeks to come for Hump Day readings, pop-up Cosmic Nobody Conversations. Reach out if you would like to be on a pop-up Cosmic Nobody Conversation. I would love to have you. And then you also see me popping up for Astronomy Month this month and giving y'all random facts and random things to know about astronomy and astrology to celebrate one of my favorite holiday month theme things. But I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all for sticking it through with me too. It's like almost 3:00 over here. So thank you guys. And that's what I got for y'all. Thank you guys for on TikTok that have been, tapped in and, sending me things. You guys are dope. And thank you guys to Facebook and Instagram and what is that? YouTube. Everywhere. We love it here. Yay. Peace, y'all. Let's get out of here.